ready for one last game of 2022, and we're doing it here at Melbourne Ballpark as the Melbourne Aces take on the Canberra Cavalry. Welcome into the Brick Lane pregame show. I'm Josh Sperber alongside Aussie Mike. Another tough loss for the Aces last night, but they have one more time in this year to get a win to ring in 2023.
Chance to snap the 5-game losing streak tonight, and what better way to snap that losing streak than to do it to end the year with a W and roll into tomorrow with a chance to get a series split. But all it takes is one game to get this team rolling. We know how much talent's on this roster, pitching staff, in the lineup. Like I said, all it takes is one, and hopefully that one starts tonight.
And they will do that with the starter tonight being a former member of the Canberra Cavalry. Steve Kent, a guy who's been a mainstay in the Aces bullpen all year long, is getting the start tonight against a team he's played for over 10 years.
Yeah, the ERA has crept up a little bit over his last couple outings, but that's pretty deceiving. And a lot of times ERA for a reliever, you look at it and you're like, it doesn't look so good. But it's just a couple of outings where he's given up a couple runs. Other than that, he's been really solid for this Aces team all season long. He's a guy that you trust in the late innings and the early innings to go multiple innings in relief. And now he's getting a chance to start, like you said, against his former team. I got to imagine the vibes are going to be pretty high for Steve, and he's going to be motivated to go out in there and get the W against the Cavalry.
And you got to imagine he's got a lot of familiarity with the guys in the batter's box, so he'll know how to pitch against his former teammates. On the flip side, you look at the Aces, and Peter Moylan's put out a different starting lineup than we've seen so far. Two-time Helms Award winner Aaron Whitefield getting the night off tonight, and Jacob Robson in the leadoff spot for the Aces.
Yeah, I think a well-deserved night off for Aaron. Just get him some rest and get him ready to go for tomorrow and moving forward. But I really like Jacob in that leadoff spot. He's a guy who continues to get on base, even when he's not hitting, and for most of the time he is hitting. On base 3 times last night, 2 walks and a single. He just finds ways on. He works the count. He sees the ball really well, and he knows how to attack when needed, but he also knows when to take pitches and work a count and really wear out an opposing pitcher. So I like Peter Moylan going with Jacob Robson in the leadoff spot and see if it brings a spark to the Aces tonight.
Robson certainly brought a spark last night. He had a stolen base during one of the times he walked as well. 6 on 7 attempts on the season. That's second on the team. But it's New Year's Eve again. We want you guys to bring the party here to Melbourne Ballpark. Keep it live all game long, and we'll have plenty of fireworks here on the Brick Lane pregame show and for the last game of 2022. We've already got some dancing here on New Year's Eve. Never thought I'd be able to say I'm calling New Year's Eve baseball, but it's the Aces and the Canberra Cavalry looking to bring the fireworks to Melbourne Ballpark tonight. Welcome into Aces TV. I'm Josh Sperber alongside Aussie Mike, and we've got a really good night of baseball ready for you. Just absolutely gorgeous here in Melbourne.
Josh, we continue to check off some career and life firsts. I mean, like you said, I never thought I'd be calling baseball on New Year's Eve in another country, on another continent. It's pretty wild, and I'm excited for it. We got an awesome day for baseball here. The weather's pretty much perfect for baseball, and I'm excited to see what the Aces go out there and do tonight. Just go out there and have fun and trying to break this losing streak.
We're already having fun in the broadcast.
Always.
Though, so we'll start things off with the final Vibrant Services weather report of 2022. Mike, it could not be a better day to end off the year.
Oh, it's fantastic. 26 degrees Celsius, and for those listening back home that know Fahrenheit, well, 26 is good in Celsius. 13 kilometers an hour the wind, so not too much wind. Humidity at 60%. You feel it a little bit here at the ballpark, but anytime the chance of rain's in the single digits, we love that. 1%. Perfect night for baseball on New Year's Eve in Melbourne. Can't wait.
And Mike's wearing his sunglasses in the booth, so that should show you just exactly how sunny and nice it is outside. And we talked a little bit about it in the Brick Lane pregame show, but it's a different starting lineup look for Peter Moylan and company. So let's take a look at the starting lineups for the Melbourne Aces for one last time in 2022. That new look begins right at the top for Melbourne. We've seen a center fielder leading off. It usually has been Aaron Whitefield. This time, Jacob Robson. He has been the leader in on-base percentage against Canberra in the 2 games they've played this series. Batting second is Jared Dale. He's playing second base tonight. moving up from the 8th spot last night. Robbie Glendinning is a staple in that 3-hole for Melbourne. He'll be playing shortstop. Jake Skoll has been in the cleanup spot almost every game since he has joined Melbourne. He has reached base in all of the 6 games he has been a Melbourne Ace. Darryl George playing at first base. The reigning Helms Award winner will bat 5th. Chris Burke moves down in the order to the 6th spot out in left field for the Melbourne Aces. And batting behind Burke is Ryan Lavarnway, the newest member of the Aces, a 10-year Major League vet and a catcher for tonight's game. J.D. Osborne, another guy listed as a catcher on the roster, will be moving to the hot corner, playing third base and batting 8th for Melbourne. And Matt O'Neill will be the designated hitter, rounding out the order for the Melbourne Aces. Steve Kent is making his first start of his Melbourne Aces career. He had many starts in his 10 years for the Canberra Cavalry, but he has pitched 9 prior games out of the bullpen for the Melbourne Aces. And we talked a little bit about it in the pregame show. Mike, what do you expect from Steve Kent in his first start as an Ace?
I think he's going to be ready to go. I mean, not only is it his first start of the season, but he's facing a team that he pitched for about a decade. So going against the hometown team, a lot of his friends and former teammates on that side, I think he's going to be ready to go. He wants to get the better end of it.
And we certainly all want that for him. He's been a staple of the Aces bullpen all season long, and his 10th appearance will be his first start as a member of the Melbourne Aces. We'll step aside quickly and come back after the national anthem. Well, we are back at Melbourne Ballpark for one last time here in 2022. I'm certainly excited to get this game started, and the Aces really need this one, Mike. 2 straight losses to the Canberra Cavalry. So what are the keys to the game for the Aces to end this losing streak?
Well, it all starts with forcing mistakes. Look, this Aces team needs to find a way to put runs on the board and win a ball game. I'd like to see some small ball, maybe some hit-and-run action, stealing bases. We saw a couple of those yesterday. Force the other team to make mistakes. Force Canberra to have to field the ball, put the ball in play, and have them make mistakes and take advantage. Then we go to Kent's old mates. Look, he's facing guys that he knows really well. Could give him an advantage, could give them an advantage. Who knows? But he's got to be amped up to face his former team and his hometown team. He's a Canberra native. And then you see at the bottom, New Year. You can't spell New Year without a W. You might as well go out of 2022 with a W and set the vibes for 2023 and hopefully win tonight and a chance to start a winning streak tomorrow.
And the Aces coming out in their red uniforms at home for the first time, trying to change things up. Usually they're road uniforms, but the Aces really trying to pull out all the stops to get one last win.
I like it. Why not? And I think the red jerseys are the Aces' best jerseys. So I like that they're wearing them. You know, the vibes are high. I like the bright colors. Let's go. Red, white, and blue. Red, white, and blue jerseys to end 2022 and get us into 2023.
And it'll be Steve Kent on the hill to do that. 0-2 on the season for Melbourne. 9 relief appearances, 1 save in 13 innings of work. But the really promising stat for him, 17 strikeouts and 5 walks. The first pitch of New Year's Eve settles in for a strike to Jake McKenzie. And it's an 0-1 count to the Cavalry shortstop.
Well, we've got number 23 on the mound getting us set for year 2023. I like that.
I think Moylan did that on purpose. Popped into center field. Settling under it is Jacob Robson, who's going to camp and make the catch for out number 1. We'll set the defense behind Steve Kent here with Robson in center field, Skoll in right, and Burke to his left. The infield is Darryl George and Jared Dale on the right side, with Dale playing second, Robbie Glendinning at short, J.D. Osborne at third, and Ryan Lavarnway, the battery mate for Steve Kemp. And now Cole Roederer, who was one of the 3 Cavalry players to hit a home run last night, will step up to the box on this New Year's Eve day. Kent is working quickly off the mound. Here's the pitch, and it misses outside for ball 1.
I think this will be one of those outings for Kent where he just goes as long as he can. You know, give us as many innings as you can. He hasn't been in the rotation this year. The Aces reshuffling their pitching rotation this series. He's well rested. Just kind of see how far he goes, and the Aces have a rested bullpen behind him.
Well, he has been a starter for Canberra plenty of times. 43 starts in 120 career games for the Canberra Cavalry in a career that spanned over 10 years for the capital city. That one settles in for a strike, and it's a 1-2 count to Roederer. A left-on-left matchup seems to be favoring Kent thus far.
It's been exactly 2 weeks since Kent threw a baseball in a live game. So he's extremely well rested, locked in, ready to go. And he looks the part right now. I mean, the fastball's got good velo, breaking ball's got good movement.
Amis is outside, 2-2. And you're right. I mean, this is, kind of a fresh start for him. He had a couple of tough relief outings, but getting himself in the starting lineup, or getting himself as a starter, is kind of a new look for Steve Kemp. The pitch, 2-2, hit high in the air and foul. We'll do it again.
Ace is looking to keep the ball in the ballpark tonight. Gave up 3 home runs last night, 3 different pitchers. Excuse me, Flynn gave up 2, and then Beatty gave up 1. So 2 different pitchers gave up 3 long balls. Looking to keep the ball in the ballpark tonight, and then that's definitely, you can throw that in as the 4th key to the game.
There are so many keys to the game. They just keep coming. 2-2. Just missing outside with a breaking ball. Good eye by Roederer, and the count runs full. And we mentioned 17 Ks, 5 walks on the season for Steve Kent. A really solid ratio for a guy who gets his money's worth when it comes to accuracy. Here's the payoff. Roederer holds up the swing, and it's a called third strike. Steve Kent gets the first K of the day. Number 18 on the season for him for out number 2 here in the first.
Really good job by Kent on the full count pitch there to come back with a fastball in the outer half. Tough pitch for Cole to handle. Yeah, I mean, that just froze him right there. And really solid pitch for out number 2.
Anytime you get a called third strike on a pitch the batter thought was out of the zone, that means you're doing something right. 2 nice outs for Kent, and now Cam Warner will greet him at the plate as that settles outside the zone for ball 1. Warner last night scored on an error back in the 9th inning after leading off the frame with a walk. This time he hits one high in the air into the left field gap. Burke going towards it, but Robson calls him off, and he makes the catch for out number 3. So a quick 1-2-3 first inning for Steve Kemp. No signs of loyalty to the Cavalry, and now the Aces will get their shot at Canberra in the bottom half of the first inning.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a sporting globe.
Light and Easy's award-winning healthy meal delivery service features over 235 delicious breakfasts, lunches and dinners for everyone to enjoy. From those who want to lose weight to those who want to gain more free time. From those who want to be a little healthier to those a little older who want to age well. There's no shopping or cooking and there's no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, ready-to-eat meals delivered to your door when you need them. Visit lightandeasy.com.au today.
Got a nice crowd on hand here at Melbourne Ballpark for the last game of 2022. Still plenty of season left, though. The Aces will have one last home round in a couple of weeks against the Adelaide Giants, a match that will prove pivotal when it comes to playoff contention. They got to focus on today, though. Jacob Robson leading things off, a scoreless tie in the bottom of the first inning, and Phil Pfeiffer will send the first pitch in there for a called strike as Robson pulls the bunt back.
The Aces have a lot of opportunities over this next month to make up ground against the Perth Heat, against the Adelaide Giants. And it's not too late to make up that ground. I mean, there's a lot of baseball left to be played, and this is a really talented roster that I fully expect to start racking up some W's.
And that's part of the reason that the lineup got shuffled around a little bit. Robson being very successful getting on the base in prior games, but not the case there. He bounces to second for out number one. That's why he led off, because he had been kind of in an on-base resurgence, and now Jared Dale, who's been shuffled all around the lineup, will follow him up to the plate.
Yeah, this is a time of year where if things aren't working, try to change it up. Just do something different. I mean, really at the end of the day, it doesn't matter where these guys are hitting. The goal is to produce, and, it doesn't really matter what spot you're in the lineup. When you go up to the plate, your job is to hit, and it doesn't matter whether you're 3, 4, 5, 1, 9, whatever it is. But again, I like the idea of shuffling things up. Just change it up, change the vibes.
And yeah, I mean, there's no downside to it. I mean, it's always good to mix things up, as that one is lifted into center field. Easy play for Roederer for out number two.
Yeah, I think with modern day baseball, baseball in 2022 heading into 2023, I think more so than ever, lineup shuffling is encouraged. I mean, even 5-6 years ago, managers, at least at the major league level, you'd pencil in your starting 9. The only thing that would really change is the pitcher, and maybe the catcher wouldn't start every day of the week. But for the most part, it's the same lineup, every guy at the same position, day in, day out. But modern day baseball, it's not like that. You move guys around in the field and in the lineup.
Yeah, 100 years ago, when the number on the back of your jersey meant your position in the lineup, yeah, shuffling things around might be a little bit more complicated. But that's not how it is anymore. For instance, Robbie Glendinning, who wears number 6, is currently batting third and facing a 1-1 count against Tennessean left-hander Phil Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer in his second season with the ABL. This year 2-3 with a 6.44 ERA in 6 starts.
Well, this is a right-handed heavy Aces lineup, so I don't want to just say it's a good matchup just because there's a lefty on the mound, but you figured that they'd have a chance to take advantage of it with the handedness throughout this lineup.
Glendinning fouls that away, and it is 2-2.
You got Burke and Robson, the only two, and Skold, those 3 left-handed. The other 6 right-handed hitters. So if they're going to jump on a guy, got that handed advantage through 2/3 of the lineup. You like the Aces' chances.
So a 2-2 to Glendinning, 2 outs in the first inning. We're in a scoreless tie here at Melbourne Ballpark. The pitch Glendenning bounces that one. A diving play by Quitzer. He's going to fire to first, and it skips over the first baseman's glove. Should be an infield hit for Glendenning, but a fantastic effort from Chris Quitzer.
Yeah, took a hit away, and by taking a hit away and making such an excellent defensive stop right there, he might have played himself into an error on the throw. We'll see if they give it a hit or an error. But either way, it's a 2-out base runner for Jake Skoll.
A really good attempt, though. You got to give the credit in the effort for Chris Quitzer. And Robbie Glendenning once again gets on base in his first at bat. That's why you put him in the 3 spot, Mike. Skoll hammers that into right field, and that's going to be a base hit. Glendenning will pull up at second base. So the Aces stringing together back-to-back hits.
Yeah, I said in the keys to the game, number 1 was take advantage of mistakes. And, you know, you hate to call that a mistake for the third baseman Quitzer because he made such an excellent defensive play to take away a hit. But, you know, throw was low, Glendenning safe at first. And then that leaves the opportunity for Skoll with a man on base instead of leading off next inning. And now you bring up one of the best hitters in the history of the league with 2 on here.
And it is officially ruled a hit for Glendenning. So the Aces stringing together back-to-back singles. And Darryl George in a position to drive a couple runs home. He takes the first pitch, a called strike on the outside corner. A right-on-left matchup is Pfeiffer, who 2 years since he's been released from the Giants organization after drafted by their rival LA Dodgers in the 3rd round of the 2015 MLB draft. Out of a collegiate powerhouse in Vanderbilt. I mean, any guy who played his college ball at Vandy is doing something right.
Yeah, you hear that, it immediately turns heads. I mean, that is extremely impressive to, you know, play D1 baseball anywhere, but to do it at Vanderbilt, which you said, a powerhouse. And to be a 3rd round pick. I mean, there are a lot of rounds in the Major League Baseball draft. Round 3 that's something to be proud of there.
George stumbles, but he keeps the bat on his shoulder and makes it a 1-2 count. George himself has some minor league experience. Signed as an international free agent by the Tampa Bay Rays back in 2014. Played a couple seasons in their system. Another farm system that turns heads. 1-2. Swing and a miss. There's strike 3. So it's Phil Pfeiffer who gets the better of the reigning Helms Award winner, but not without some promise from the Aces. They string together back-to-back hits with 2 outs, but leave them both stranded. And we are still in a scoreless tie after 1 inning. 2nd inning coming up here on Aces TV.
Save that drive. When Brownie takes one for the team and Bradbury skated by. This golden crusty pastry watched as Taylor kicked the sky. When Ben Simmons makes a 3, we give a big high five. What future sport looks like just won't be right without a pie. Oh, what a lovely pie, me mates are 4 and 25. Oi!
One Love is there for the moments with the people you love the most. To share the highs and the lows together. It's the one for all people, all times, and all places. Brick Lane's One Love Pale Ale. It's the one for all.
A solid first inning from the Melbourne Aces. Maybe better top of the first inning from Steve Kemp. Scoreless tie, Kent with a strikeout and 2 quick flyouts. Moving pretty smoothly through the lineup of his former team. But we're still scoreless through 1. Heart of the Cavalry order coming up to face their former teammate, Robbie Perkins, the current longest tenured member of the Canberra Cavalry, facing his longtime battery mate for the first time. This is going to be a fun at-bat, Mike. First pitch to Perkins, in there for a called strike. You love to see former teammates going head-to-head in these situations.
Well, these two guys know each other so well. I mean, it's just a mental game at this point right now.
0-1. That's it high in the air, down the right field line, and foul. Something that Ryan Lavarnway was talking to you about was the bond between catcher and pitcher, and Robbie Perkins had to be the catcher for almost all of Stephen Kent's appearances for Canberra.
Yeah, so I'm sure Robbie knows what Steve's going to throw. Steve knows what Robbie likes to hit.
0-2. Inside, and that's going to miss 1 and 2.
But yeah, I mean, it's got to be weird. For a lot of these guys facing Kent, but especially for a guy who caught him for so many years.
Kent, the 1-2. Breaking ball settles in there for a called strike 3. So Steve Kent fools his former catcher for the first out of the second inning.
That was a great pitch right there, just dropping it on Perkins. 2 strikes, kind of buckled his knees, froze him right there, taking a look at the All-Star Access Higher replay. Look at that curveball. That thing snapped off pretty early and then just dropped down in the zone.
And you saw Perkins' facial expressions afterward. He's like, yep, I've seen Kenty do that a whole bunch of times.
Seen that before.
1 gone here in the second. Tillman Pugh is in the batter's box as the fastball misses for a called strike. Now, this is also not the first time we've seen Steve Kent and Phil Pfeiffer in the same game together. 1-0. Pugh lets the fastball go by him for a called strike. This is the 4th time that they've appeared in the same game, or the 5th time, excuse me. Kent has relieved 4 of Phil Pfeiffer's previous start and has been excellent in those instances. Pugh lets this one go upstairs with a fastball, 2-1. Kent finished all 4 of the starts where he came in as a reliever for Phil Pfeiffer. 5 1/3 innings, 3 hits allowed, 7 strikeouts, no walks, no runs, and 2 saves. So that's got to bode well for Aces fans, Kent and Pfeiffer in the same game together.
No doubt.
I mean, it's a little bit different now, but only a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. 2-2 to Pugh, who had a nice end to the game last night. Grounded out in his first 2 appearances, but then singled, was hit by a pitch, and homered in his last 3, scoring each time. Not there, though. Steve Kent freezing the Cavalry left fielder. His 2nd consecutive punch-out, and 2 gone here in the second.
Get my man a roller and a white hat and smock because he's painting corners today, Josh. I mean, the fastball dotted it on the outside twice to Pugh, and that curveball that he dropped in, his pitches look sharp out of the hand. He's got that insanely nasty break on the curveball, and the fastball just has life to both sides of the plate.
This is as good as we've seen Kent look in the early goings of this start. 2 outs here as Monaroa fouls that off his foot, so he's going to take some time to walk around the batter's box.
You know, on my fielding chart in my scorebook, instead of I write the last names usually. I just wrote Boss Man over at first base for him.
I mean, it's easier to spell than Monaroa, and more fun. That is not fun, though. That's got to hurt.
Yeah, not ideal. Take a look at that replay. Well, we didn't really see the leg there, but yeah, you just see him wincing after that ball ricocheted off his, probably looked like his inner ankle area. Yeah, that hurts.
Yeah, just not a fun place to get a hard foul off. And Monaroa hits the ball hard, and once again, he fouls it off himself.
I think that one went off his shoulder, so. Yeah, look at Lavarnway. He's having so much fun out there.
You love to see that.
Already a fan favorite, I think.
I think so.
It's been here like 4 days.
So it's an 0-2 count to Monaroa. I think he'd be an even more fan favorite if he caught a 3rd consecutive strike. Monaroa just hoping not to foul it off of himself again. Kent in his windup. He kicks and deals. Called strike 3. Stephen Kent strikes out the side, freezing Canberra batters en route to a perfect inning. Popcorn for the Aces fans and a scoreless second for the Cavalry. We'll be back with the bottom half of the second inning here on Aces TV. And we'll give you that little strikeout to go away on.
For over 40 years, All Green Nursery has been providing the communities of Melbourne's western and northern suburbs the best advice and results for their gardens. Our retail centre, indoor plant space and expansive nursery floor showcases over 150 varieties of vibrant plants, most of them grown locally right here in Werribee South. We have qualified horticulturalists on site to help assist with all your gardening needs, and our home decor section is stocked with a full range of quality options. All Green Nursery, your local plant nursery and garden centre. Visit our sites in Hoppers Crossing and Epping. All-Star Access Hire are your access equipment specialists. We have an extensive range of state-of-the-art equipment, and we pride ourselves on delivering outstanding customer service. We have the youngest fleet of equipment in Victoria, and we are consistently adding new machines. We get to know our customers and form partnerships with them. This video is of our partnership with the Victorian Government at Reservoir Station. All-Star Access Hire are proud sponsors of the Melbourne Aces and our All-Star Bar.
Swing and a miss on the first pitch of the second inning. Chris Perk is in the batter's box for Melbourne. 6, 7, and 8 coming up. And we have, once again, a really great crowd here at Melbourne Ballpark. But Burke down in the count 0-2.
Yeah, I love seeing all the fans out at the ballpark this weekend. A well-attended series. I imagine New Year's Day tomorrow we'll have another great crowd. And the weather's been fantastic as well. So why wouldn't you want to come out to the ballpark, see a game, and grab some food?
Burke lines this one into right field. Short run for Garbella, who makes the grab. And there's the first down of the inning.
All it's going to take is one of these fly balls to find some green grass in the outfield. Down the line or in a gap, and instead of finding a glove. And this Aces team's really going to break out. Now, I'm really excited for that next time we see, in one inning that the Aces go double, single, double, triple. Like string together those hits, those big hits for extra bases and put a crooked number up on the board.
And they're really due for it. I mean, it's just so easy to say that because we've seen so many balls hit well like that, but that just have gone right to a fielder.
Well, when I was talking to Ryan Lavarnway, 2 days ago, it was yesterday before game 2 of the series, after he had caught 12 innings the prior day after getting off a 15-hour flight the day before, I said, damn, man, I give you props for being able to do that. And he said, well, catching is easy. It's hitting that's hard. So, yeah, I mean, I guess I get that from a player's perspective. You've caught you've been a catcher for decades in your career. Over a decade of professional experience. I mean, that part is probably not too hard for him. But, yeah, getting the timing and hitting, I mean, who wants to hop off a cross-world flight and then the next day have to see 90s, fastballs in the high 90s and breaking balls?
That's hit high in the air, but right to Cole Roeder in center field. 2 gone, and Lavarnway is still looking for his first ABL hit. But, I mean, it's interesting. You talk to pretty much any of these players, and I think Deion Sanders said something about baseball has to be the hardest sport because even the most successful guys will fail 3 out of 10 times. I mean, different ways. You and I both have heard different variations of that quote, a million different ways over the years. But it's true. I mean, hitting is widely considered the most difficult thing for an athlete to do.
Yeah, I mean, hitting a baseball is incredibly hard. And to do it at the professional level, to do it at the major league level like a lot of the guys in this league have done, it's just not easy. I mean, such a small percentage of people can do it, and an even smaller percentage do it well for an extended period of time.
J.D. Osborne, a guy who's been doing in the minor leagues for a couple of years, been part of the Marlins system since 2015. But there he bounces out to second base in a quick 1-2-3 inning for the Melbourne Aces. The Aces down in order for the first time, and once again, we're scoreless through 2, but plenty of fireworks to come. Stick with us here on Aces TV. Mike Mark Antonini will have the play-by-play for the next 2 innings.
Aussie gardeners are best served by Aussie tools, built specifically for our unique environment and conditions. Back in the 1890s, Leonard Chambers and William Thompson started a beekeeping supply business in Melbourne. Little would they know that their company would go on to change how Australians garden for well over a century. Cyclone is ingrained into our country's history and our way of life. Our tools are long-lasting and purpose-built for hard work.
We've been making quality tools for over a century.
They last that long, you can hand them down to the next generation.
Good quality, honest product that the Australian people have grown to love.
It's not an Aussie shed without a cyclone.
My biggest takeaway of being here for 34 years is just a sense of pride in the product.
Australians buy good products. So if they keep on buying, we keep on making, so we're here.
Cyclone tools, made for Australians.
When enjoying a punt, easy does it with Punt 123. Punt123.bet is your home for all your punting needs with same race multis and same game multi options, including daily promotions on all the major sporting and racing events. It's punting made easy. Get in the game with Punt 123. Visit punt123.bet or download the app today. Gamble responsibly. If gambling becomes an issue for you, call 1-800-858-858.
Top of the third inning from Melbourne Ballpark. No score early. It's the Melbourne Aces and the Canberra Cavalry in Game 3 of a 4-game set. Round 7 of the 2022-2023 ABL season. On the final day of 2022, we welcome you back inside our broadcast booth. Aussie Mike and Josh Sperber. Steve Kent fanned the side in order. He's got 4 strikeouts on the night, all looking. So he is fooling these Cavalry hitters. The other 2 outs he recorded were flyouts to center. 6 up, 6 down for Kent. And he's got the bottom 3 in the Canberra order. Mitchell Edwards, Chris Quitzer, and Giovanni Garbella. Well, Josh, Steve's off to a fantastic start tonight. Everything working for him.
Yeah, this is about as good as he's looked. He's locating the ball incredibly well. If you can get 3 straight strikeouts looking, I mean, that's a darn difficult thing to do.
23 pitches, 16 of them for strikes through 2 frames. Count 1-1 on Edwards, the designated hitter. First start of the series for Edwards. Next one from Kent's over, and he continues to paint that outside corner with the fastball to right-handed hitters.
And he's just living there. I mean, pretty much every pitch you see is just outside corner, and his former teammates can't hit it.
Kent looking for another punchy. Can he do it here? Lefty readies the 2-strike pitch. Hit in the air down the left field line. Burke gives chase. It one-hops the base of the wall. Picked up on the warning track. Going to be close at second, but Edwards slides in safe ahead of the tag. And it's a leadoff double here in the third. First base runner for Canberra.
And that was expertly fielded by Chris Burke. Not easy to field a ball off the top of the wall, but Burke got there quickly and made this a really close play at second base. Big props to him, but obviously a really good piece of hitting by Mitch Edwards.
You know, off the bat, as soon as I saw that it was down, I'm thinking, no way he makes this anywhere close. It shouldn't have been close at second, but to your point, Burke, a strong throw and played it really well. A guy who knows how to play the ball off the wall here in this ballpark. He's been around a while. Leadoff man on second. Here's the left-handed hitting Quitzer. He's been great defensively in this series. He's also been solid with the bat. Had a hit in the series opener on Thursday night. He had 3 hits last night, 2 singles and a double, went 3 for 5. Making a couple highlight reel stops at third. And here's a productive out from Quitzer. Dale flips over to first. 4-3 on the putout, but Edwards moves up to third.
I like that Dale was even thinking about going to third on that play. You saw him kind of casually look towards third base. You see him. Maybe Edwards is slacking a little bit, but no chance at third, a routine play.
So now with a man on third and 1 down, here's Giovanni Garbella, the right fielder. He's been a mainstay in right field and in the 9-hole this series. Aces will bring the infield in. Well, the 2 on the right side are in. The 2 on the left side, Osborne and Glendinning, about halfway. There's a called strike. It's 0-1. Surprised to see the Aces bringing the infield in and halfway on either side this early?
No, I mean, a runner on third, they're just trying to to stop the run. I mean, that's the textbook shift when you have a guy 90 feet from home.
Swing and a miss, a good curveball diving down in the zone. Quickly 0-2.
The way Kent's pitching, I don't think it's going to be shifted like this for pretty much longer.
If he keeps missing bats, they won't need to bring the infield in. But Dale and George on that right side remain in. George got his feet on the edge of the grass. 0-2, swing and a miss. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, out number 2 for Steve Kent.
And that's how you take the sacrifice threat away. Just absolutely attacking Giovanni Garbella. Kent wasted no time getting that second out. 5th punchy of the day for him.
Breaking ball down in the zone for strike 2. Fastball up to ring him up. So with 2 down and a runner still on third, all 4 infielders move back. Here's the leadoff man, Jake McKenzie. Kent working out of the stretch, fires a fastball over for a strike. He's just money on that outside corner with the fastball. Working really well with his new catcher, Ryan Lavarnway. 5 strikeouts, 1 time through the order for Kent. He's allowed just 1 hit. That one misses outside, but Kent continues to throw strikes at a high rate tonight. Making his first start of the season, 10th appearance overall. And it's been a good piece out of the Aces bullpen this year, now getting a chance to start games.
And I think I expect to see him more in that starter role. We talked about the loss of Hyuta Kazama and Mizuki Miura going back to Japan for their season. And, you know, with McGraw's injury as well, there's some openings in the starting rotation for the Aces, and this could be Kent's audition for him to fill it.
Cody Mincy had game 1, Brian Flynn game 2 last night, and now Kent tonight. A ball and 2 strikes with 2 down. Fastball misses just a little bit high. It's 2-2 on McKenzie.
I like that purpose pitch from Kent, though. So many of these guys, when they're looking to get a big hit, if they see a high fastball, they're going for it. But McKenzie controlled in the batter's box today.
McKenzie opened the scoring in last night's game with a solo homer in the 5th. The Cavalry eventually took home a 9-3 W. They lead it 2-0 this series. McKenzie takes on the inside corner. Ian Gavin says no, it missed, and the count runs full.
It missed, but just barely.
Yeah, he just hasn't missed out of the zone by much at all, though, even the pitches that he's thrown out of the zone. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, a man on third. Kent looking to get out of it. Here's his pitch. Fastball just missed off the plate, and it's a full count walk to McKenzie. So that puts runners at the corners for the 2-hole hitter, Cole Roederer.
Not sure where that missed, but a really close call for Kent, and now Ryan Lavarnway is going to come have a chat with his pitcher. I think it's a good time for a mound visit, you know. You want to probably just saying something like focus on the hitter, and you didn't miss by much in that last at-bat, so just more of the same, and they'll get out of the inning.
So just a quick chat between Kent and Lavarnway. Tough task here with Roederer at the plate. He homered in last night's game. His home run was the last of 3 that the Cavalry hit en route to their 2nd straight W. 13 innings of work for Kent coming in. Really solid strikeout to walk ratio, 17 Ks, only 5 walks, and he's added 5 more strikeouts to his line tonight. Roederer swings at the first pitch and sends one into center field. Robson makes the grab, and the threat is over. No runs on 1 hit, no errors. The Cavalry strand 2 at the corners. We've played 2.5. Still no score at Melbourne Ballpark. Bottom 3 after this on Aces TV.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
Light and Easy's award-winning healthy meal delivery service features over 235 delicious breakfasts, lunches and dinners for everyone to enjoy. From those who want to lose weight to those who want to gain more free time. From those who want to be a little healthier to those a little older who want to age well. There's no shopping or cooking and there's no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, ready-to-eat meals delivered to your door when you need them. Visit lightandeasy.com.au today.
Bottom three in Melbourne, no score between the Aces and the Cavalry. Game 3 of 4 this series. The Cavalry took each of the first 2 games. Now the Aces looking to avoid a series loss. A win tonight would give them a chance to earn a series split tomorrow. On the final day of 2022, baseball on New Year's Eve. First time that Josh and I have been able to say that in our lives, as O'Neill sends one out to short. O'Neill saw 3 pitches, and he is retired for out number 1 here in the third.
And once again, we're seeing really good starts to the outings of both of the starting pitchers. Pfeiffer's been really efficient, and Kent is, as you've been saying, Mike, just absolutely painting the quarters, and the Cavalry really just don't know how to kind of handle him.
5 strikeouts for Kent through 3 solid innings. Shutout baseball for Steve in his first start of the season. Worked around a 2-out walk, constrained runners at the corners in the top of the third. Now back to the top of the order for the Aces. Robson, Dale to follow. Robson bounced to second his first time up, getting a shot in the leadoff spot tonight for Peter Moylan. This one sent high in the air center field. Looks like Roederer's under it, and he drifts a little bit into left center and makes the grab.
Cole's had a busy night. Third time he's caught a fly out, and Robson saw the pitch he wanted. I think he reacted to it a bit late, and that's why he was a bit underneath it.
So Robson's 0 for 2 in his first game in the leadoff spot this season. 2 gone and no one on. Here's Jared Dale. Dale continues to bounce around the infield for the Aces. Back at second base tonight. He started the series opener there and then went to short last night. He's also played a good amount of third base.
He's been primarily a shortstop for the Aces, but when he goes back to the States and plays for the Padres system, they've put him mostly at second.
Hard hit liner into right center for a base hit. It's the 3rd hit of the game for the Aces. All 3 hits for Melbourne have come with 2 outs. And the inning continues. Here's Robbie Glendinning, who singled his first time up.
That's a really good inside-out at bat from Jared Dale, taking that one the opposite way. You like for the Aces to get things done earlier in the inning, with less than 2 outs, but you gotta love to see the production. 3 hits in the first 3 innings.
Here's Glendinning, who reached on an infield single his first time up. He hit a chopper to the left side that looked ticketed for left field, but Quitzer made a diving stop. Flashing the glove over there, but his throw was low to first, but Glendinning was awarded an infield hit. 1-0. Another ground ball to the left side, fielded by Quitzer. A fair ball, throws high, it gets away from Boss Monaroa. Dale around third, he's held up there. Glendinning stops at first. And the Aces have runners at the corners with 2 down here in the third. Josh, I was a little surprised to see that ruled a fair ball. Just from the angle we have up here in the booth, it looked like a foul ball. We'll see the replay here.
Yeah, it bounced in fair territory. It did not hit the ground in foul territory. It bounced in fair territory over the foul line and was fielded in foul territory by Chris Quitzer. I'm certainly surprised, but I'm not going to complain. The Aces have runners on the corners.
So it's ruled an E5, an error on Quitzer. First and third for Skoll with 2 down. First pitch breaking ball from Phil Pfeiffer. That one missed a little low. Pfeiffer was really good through the first 2 innings, worked around those 2 2-out hits in the first. Just 1 strikeout for him. He's pitching to contact well. He gets a swing and a miss, and the lefty has the Aces lefty out in front.
Yeah, you could tell Skoll wanted a fastball there. He saw the pitch coming over the middle of the plate, but a good job by Pfeiffer to change speeds and fool him with a breaking ball.
Jake takes a breaking ball there off the plate, and it's 2-1. Aces looking to get on the board first tonight. They have trailed the entire series. Canberra got on the board early and on the board first in both of the first 2 games of this series, and then they extended both leads in the later part of the games. An 8-1 win in 12 innings on Thursday night, and then a 9-3 win for the Cavalry last night. Neither team scored until the 12th inning on Thursday. Last night, Canberra broke the scoreless tie in the 5th and proceeded to score in each of the next 4 innings as well. 3-2 to Skull, that's down. It was a 2-2 pitch. Now it's 3-2.
You're too good at predicting the future for your own good, Mike.
I just knew it was coming.
Yeah.
So with the count 3-2 and 2 outs, Glendinning will be off on the pitch from first. Dale, a healthy leadoff third with the third baseman Quitzer way off the bag and back. Glendinning goes, here's the 3-2. Called strike 3 on the outer half. Skull knew it, and the inning is over. No runs on 1 hit, 1 error, 2 men left on. We'll head to the top of the 4th. No score through 3 on Aces TV.
Save that drive. When Brownie takes one for the team and Bradbury skated by. This golden crusty pastry watched as Taylor kick the sky. When Ben Simmons makes a 3, we give a big high five. What future sport looks like just won't be right without a pie. Oh, what a lovely pie, me mates are 4 and 25. Oi!
One Love is there for the moments with the people you love the most. To share the highs and the lows together. It's the one for all people, all times, and all places. Brick Lane's One Love Pale Ale. It's the one for all.
The Aces put 2 more on base in the bottom of the 3rd, but failed to score, and we are scoreless through 3. Steve Kent back to work in the top of the 4th. He gets 3, 4, 5 in the Canberra order. It's Cam Warner, Robbie Perkins, and Tillman Pugh. 5 strikeouts for Kent through 3 scoreless frames in his first start of the year. 10th outing overall. And that ERA continues to creep down. Kent has been excellent tonight.
Yeah, he's looked incredible. I mean, the only blemish on his night has been that 1 pitch miss that Mitch Edwards got a hold of, but he's been painting the corners. He's been missing bats all night long. Love to see it.
A double and a walk, the only 2 base runners for the Cavalry. Both came in the 3rd inning. And Kent starts Warner off with a ball. Warner flew out to center to end the 1st. He's one of the guys who's been able to make contact against Kent so far tonight.
Yeah, but not strong contact. The only dangerous hit, the only dangerous ball hit was that Warner, that Edwards double in the last inning. Everything else has been pretty weakly hit out to center.
There's a strike on the outer half. Well, Ken has some really impressive numbers throughout his ABL career. The first season of the modern ABL in 2010 is when Kent joined the Cavalry. And he had been with Canberra ever since, until he joined the Aces before the start of the 2022-2023 season. Here's Steve's 2-1, flipped in the air, down the right field line. We'll see if Skull can get there. He's over towards the netting, and it looked like he made the grab as he reached back. Tough angle for us up here in the booth, but Skull makes the grab for out number 1.
Skull is certainly a guy who goes right to the netting, will not hesitate to let his body on the line, but a difficult angle to see here. You take a look at Skull, though, going right up to the edge and making the catch. A really nice play.
Taking a look at Steve Kent's career numbers with the Cavalry. He only had 3 seasons in which his ERA was above 3.5. And that was You know, we're talking a guy who's bounced back and forth between the bullpen and the starting rotation. His best year out of the bullpen was 2012, in which he pitched in 17 games, all out of the pen, a 2.45 ERA, 29 strikeouts, just 3 walks. He also had a year in which he had a 2.08 ERA and 14 relief appearances, 18 strikeouts, 8 walks. Opponents hit 194 against him that year. This one's blasted to deep left center. Burke gives chase. That one is off the warning track and then off the wall. It's a stand-up double for Robbie Perkins. So this time his former battery mate gets the better of him. Perkins is 1 for 2.
Yeah, that's going to be a battle that I'm excited to see all night, and that looked eerily similar to the Edwards hit. Edwards was pulled right down the line, this one in the gap, and that was just a pitch that Kent left right over the middle of the plate. Happy that one stayed in the ballpark.
A couple doubles for Canberra in the game. Here's Tillman Pugh, who hit a 2-run home run in last night's game. Pugh reached safely in each of his last 3 plate appearances and also scored runs each time he reached. Had the 2-run homer, hit by a pitch, stole a bag and scored, and then he singled and scored. The ERA was over 6.5 in 2020-2021 for Kent in 9 appearances, 2 starts with Canberra. But the year before that, in the 1920 season, he won 3 games, had a 2.03 ERA in 16 games, 1 start, 31 innings of work. Opponents hit just 191 against him, and the strikeout to walk ratio for this guy every year, Josh, is impressive. 34-3 that year.
Yeah, if you can get single-digit walks in a season, that's just impressive.
You know, if there wasn't netting behind home plate, that might have been ticketed for our broadcast booth.
I was ready for it.
I had the hand up.
Yeah.
It wasn't my glove hand, and I don't have a glove, so who knows how that would have worked out. But I've got this window in front of me.
That's still my dream, to catch a ball mid-broadcast.
That'd be awesome.
Ever since I saw that, I think Texas A&M guy do it, I've always wanted to.
1-2, swing and a miss. Pugh down on strikes. Another strikeout for Steve Kent. Give him 6 now. So Pugh is down on strikes for the 2nd time tonight. Kent continues to roll. 2 down now. Here's Boss Monaroa.
And that's his 6th strikeout, as you said. First one swinging.
Yeah, we can officially say he's missing bats instead of just freezing guys at the dish.
I mean, both, but yeah.
Left on left for Kent, a chance to get out of it and throwing up another 0 on that scoreboard. Breaking ball breaks from the inner half in, and it's over for a strike 0-1. It's been 2 weeks since Kent pitched in a game, and it feels like he hasn't missed a beat. Lazy fly ball to center. Robson's under it, and the inning is over. So Kent works around a 1-out double. He's allowed just 2 hits through 4 scoreless, and we head to the bottom of the 4th and see if the Aces can get on the board. Keep it locked right here on Aces TV.
For over 40 years, All Green Nursery has been providing the communities of Melbourne's western and northern suburbs the best advice and results for their gardens. Our retail centre, indoor plant space and expansive nursery floor showcases over 150 varieties of vibrant plants, most of them grown locally right here in Werribee South. We have qualified horticulturalists on site to help assist with all your gardening needs, and our home decor section is stocked with a full range of quality options. All Green Nursery, your local plant nursery and garden centre. Visit our sites in Hoppers Crossing and Epping. All-Star Access Hire are your access equipment specialists. We have an extensive range of state-of-the-art equipment, and we pride ourselves on delivering outstanding customer service. We have the youngest fleet of equipment in Victoria, and we are consistently adding new machines. We get to know our customers and form partnerships with them. This video is of our partnership with the Victorian Government at Reservoir Station. All-Star Access Hire are proud sponsors of the Melbourne Aces and our All-Star Bar.
Phil Pfeiffer back to work in the bottom of the fourth. He gets Daryl George, Chris Burke, and Ryan Lavarnway. 5-6-7 for the Aces. They try to break this scoreless tie. You see Cavalry hitting coach and third base coach Gifton Gope just on the screen over there in the Canberra dugout. He was a part of the Melbourne Aces' most recent championship team. A guy who's been having a lot of fun this week. George chops a ball foul, but Gift's a guy I got to know a little bit in 2019 when we were both with the Altoona Curve. Robbie Glendinning was a part of that team as well. But we've seen him around the ballpark just chatting with everybody, you know, taking pictures with Aces fans, people he's grown to know around this ballpark. It's good to have him back in the ballpark.
And it's good to see that the Aces fans are still remember him. They're still treating him like he's a member of the team. I mean, you love to see the constant interaction with these guys and the fans. That's part of what baseball is all about.
George takes a breaking ball off the plate. It really is one of the best parts of baseball, and with guys moving teams so often, you know, you come back to a place, and it's easy to tell which guys were the fan favorites, which guys had the connection with the fans, because those are the guys that are getting pulled to take pictures and sign autographs and just chat.
And he'll be going back stateside, accepting a coaching position in the Arizona Diamondbacks minor league system during the U.S. season.
Little cue shot out to second, and George is retired to start the fourth. Well, Gifton Gope, the first African-born major leaguer, accomplished that with the Pittsburgh Pirates a few years back. And a champion here in Melbourne. Well, here's another guy who's been a part of championship culture. Daryl George, who made the last out. One of them, Chris Burke, another guy who's been here for a couple championship runs. He flew out to right his first time up. He's quickly down the count, 0-1.
And he's looked really good in the field as well. A couple of really difficult plays for him off the top of the wall that he has fielded expertly in what is his first season as an outfielder. He started his career as a catcher.
A couple of lefties going at it tonight. Phil Pfeiffer for Canberra, 3 1/3 scoreless for him. 4 scoreless for Steve Kent of the Aces. 6 strikeouts for Kent as he's blanked the Cavalry through 4. And he hasn't thrown a lot of pitches either. He'll keep going. That time is called. Burke will reset and get back in the box.
And neither of these guys really thrown all that much. Pfeiffer, 45 pitches, 31 for strikes. Kent, 51, 35 for strikes.
Both guys have been around the plate. Kent's walked just 1, and it was arguably a strike. It was a close pitch on the outer half, and Pfeiffer hasn't walked any. Here's the 3-1. Looked like a changeup there from Phil. And it's 3-2 on Burke.
And that's something that he's been able to do really well, and I've seen it from Frank Gailey. We saw it from Frank Gailey in the first game of the series as well. Not blowing you away with a fastball, but changing speeds and really fooling the Melbourne hitters.
Burke finding a way to stay alive. The Aces got 2 runners on with 2 outs in the first and third innings. 2 singles in the first with 2 outs, a single and an error with 2 outs in the third. But the next batter struck out both times to end the inning. Now Burke fights one off the hands and dumps one into right, but Garbella's over and makes the grab for out number 2.
And he's hit 2 balls pretty well out to right field, but both times going right at Garbella has not made him work all that much.
Well, here's Ryan Lavarnway, who's got a chance to extend the inning. He's still looking for his first AVL hit, just the second game with the Aces. Flew in from California on Tuesday morning. About an hour and a half or so later, hopped into an interview with me. Big shout out to Ryan for being willing to do that and being awake enough to do that. And then he caught 12 innings the next day. Well-deserved day off yesterday. He's back in the lineup tonight.
Yeah, he basically was telling me that yesterday playing was not an option.
I feel that. That's probably when the jet lag really started to wear in. That second full day as he sends one high in the air, deep left field. Pugh goes back, but he'll just turn and watch it fly. Fire me up, Ryan Lavarnway. His first ABL hit is a home run. And for the first time this series, the Aces are on the board first. A 2-out solo shot for Lavarnway, and he circles the pillows. He'll touch home, and he gives the Aces a 1-0 advantage.
I think it's safe to say the jet lag's gone. That was crushed. A no-doubt homer from Lavarnway. What a way to open your ABL account.
Fire me up. That's what I'm talking about. The New Year's Eve vibes are high at Melbourne Ballpark. Well, they were already, and they just got higher.
I mean, I wanted the first fireworks on New Year's Eve to be from a home run hit by an Aces player. We got it.
So Ryan Lavarnway puts the Aces up 1-0, and he does it with one swing. J.D. Osborne a chance to follow suit as the smoke and dust from the fireworks kind of filling around the infield here. You smell it. It just smells fireworky right now.
It's New Year's Eve. We're going to have to get used to it. You're going to see fireworks after the game. There are going to be fireworks just about everywhere in about 6 hours.
Sent on the ground to short. McKenzie has it on 2 hops over to first to end the inning. But Ryan Lavarnway puts the Aces ahead. A 2-out solo shot over the wall in left. His first ABL hit is a home run. And the Aces are up 1-0. So we are through 4 full at the ballpark. Josh and I are having some fun. Everybody's having some fun at Melbourne Ballpark. We are going to keep it here on the broadcast. And we are going to send it over to our own Ed Wyatt, who is down on the concourse with a chance to tell us about some things going on at Melbourne Ballpark. Take it away, Ed.
Thanks, guys. That's what we want to see. The Aces taking a lead, right? How about that? Great places to watch a game here. We got to mention, you got the party deck, you got the reserve section here, you got all kinds of places around the park to have a look at. One final series coming up, January 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th. Adelaide Giants coming to town. Head to melbourneaces.com.au. All the opportunities to grab some tickets for that final series. So, like I said, beautiful night, beautiful place to watch a ballpark. Back to you guys. Let's call an Aces win tonight.
All right, appreciate it, Ed. Thanks for doing that. And great to have Ed back at Melbourne Ballpark, a part of our broadcast crew. He was away for the last couple home rounds. But, Josh, we love Ed, and Ed's firing up the fans down there on the concourse and letting people know there's still a lot of chances to come out and see a ball game here in Melbourne this season.
And that Adelaide series is going to be a big one. That's a divisional contest. Adelaide's second overall record in the league right now, and the Aces will need that to gain some ground. It looks like Ryan Lavarnway's trying to help them do that here tonight.
Yeah, with swings like that from Ryan, the Aces see if they can keep it going and get a few more swings like that, put a few more runs on the board, and before you know it, they'll be racking up W's. But how about that? And you had just talked about it in that at-bat, that he basically said that playing yesterday was just not going to happen after the 15-hour flight and then the 12-inning affair. But, you know, he's well-rested now and getting adjusted to life halfway across the world. And there you go. Home run for him for his first ABL hit.
Yeah, 9 major league home runs for Lavarnway, countless in the minors, the Ivy League record over at Yale. I mean, what a career he's had, and we're certainly happy to have him here in Melbourne. Now we're in the top of the 5th inning, 7, 8, and 9 coming up for Canberra. Edwards, Quitzer, and Garbella against Stephen Kent, who gets the first pitch, foul down the right field line for an 0-1 count. Kent would be the pitcher of record if he completes this inning, and he does not surrender a run. We got some guys kind of moseying around in the Aces bullpen, but no one in action just yet as the fastball slips Kent's grip and misses upstairs 1-1. But that's got to feel really good. Your catcher's the guy who puts you on the board first, the newest member of the team, and his pitcher is doing really well, though 2 fastballs just missing out of Kent's hands there. 2-1 count now to Mitch Edwards, who opened the hitting up for Canberra with a leadoff double in the 3rd. 2-1. Popped high in the air, fouls territory down the first base side. George edges towards the fence, and that's going to end on the netting over the All-Star bar. 2-2 the count now. Edwards didn't play last night, but was the designated hitter for the first 9 innings. He was pinch hit for by Mike Campbell in the 10th inning of that contest. Or pinch ran for, excuse me. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Steve Kent on the inside fastball. Strikeout number 7 and out number 1 of the 5th.
Well, this one's been really fun, Josh. I mean, Kent's just rolling. He's dialed in. Lavarnway, the 2-out bomb to put the team up 1-0. I mean, this is really solid fundamental baseball from the Aces, and you love seeing a pitcher's duel, and you obviously loving when the Aces are on the winning side of a pitcher's duel.
Yeah, we've seen pitcher's duels the last couple of nights. This is the first time the Aces have had a lead all series as Quitzer popped this one up to the foul territory of the third base side. Osborne giving chase and makes the grab, shielding the sun from his eyes in the process. 1 pitch to Quitzer, 2 outs here in the 5th.
J.D. Osborne has spent most of this season behind the plate and at first base, and he's done both really well defensively. I mean, he's been great in both spots, but guy who played third base in college, he knows the hot corner well, and that was a good job of getting his footing set, knowing where the wall was, and following the ball.
2 gone now in the 5th. Giovanni Garbella, who has played the 1 position this series, 3 games in the 9-hole in right field for Canberra, takes the first pitch for a called strike, and 2 wild fastballs in that first at bat, but Kent continuing to roll here in the 5th inning. Aces got the run on Lavarnway's homer last inning. Now the 1-0. That's hit in the air out to left center field. Robson gives chase, but he makes the play off a bounce. And it is a 2-out single for Giovanni Garbella. First hit that didn't go for extra bases for Canberra.
Well, the hits are hard to come by for Canberra tonight after the bats broke out in each of the first 2 games. Now, of course, in Game 1, the bats didn't do anything until the 12th inning. Last night, it was a more complete game from the Canberra lineup. But Kent has really limited the hard contact. He's limited the hits. It's been fun to watch.
So the lineup card turns over. Now Jake McKenzie will step up to the plate. He takes the first pitch. Fastball outside corner. How many times have you said that tonight, Mike?
He's painting that outside corner. You know, he knows it's there for a strike. He knows guys haven't really swung at it much. So he just keeps going to it.
He lives there. He's moved from Canberra to the outside corner. Lights on at Melbourne Ballpark. 0-1 pitch. Misses, and it's 1-1. McKenzie's been in the leadoff spot all 3 games. 0 for 1 tonight with a walk. He has reached base in every single game in this series. 1-1, hit hard to second base, diving, but under the glove of Jared Dale. Holding up at second base is Garbella, and consecutive hits for Canberra for the first time. 2 on, 2 out for Cole Roederer.
It looked like Dale overslid that ball just a little bit, but I mean, a heck of an effort either way, and a tough play for him because he was shaded up the middle. But now Lavarnway out for another chat. I like this, breaking up the flow that the Cavalry hitters are in and giving his pitcher Kent a breather there. I mean, this is Kent's longest outing of the season so far. He hasn't gone that long.
And another just settling down the pitcher mound visit from Lavarnway. It worked pretty well the last time, and it just falls into the pattern of these Aces catchers knowing their pitchers really well and knowing when to come out and talk to them.
Yeah, just a really good feel for the game. I mean, all 3 guys behind the plate, Osborne, O'Neill, and now Lavarnway, I mean, they know how to settle a pitcher down, what to say when they go out there, and when to do it.
So Roederer 0 for 2 on the night. Up with 2 on and 2 outs here in the 5th. Kent deals, inside corner, fastball, 0-1. And I don't know if the Cavalry players know that a heater is coming, but if they're swinging to the first pitch, they're not hitting it far, and usually they're just letting it go by. Kent's looking at the runners. He'll step off the mound to bring them back to their bases. 0-1 to Roeder, who homered last night, but otherwise is hitless on this series. 2 walks, though, and 2 RBIs in the 3 games against Melbourne. 0-1. Just missing inside, and it's 1-1. Roederer thought he had another walk, but it was a called third strike in that first inning. And then sent the first pitch that he saw in the third out to center to end the inning, his last time up. McKenzie on first, Garbella on second. 1-1. Roederer slices this one foul, and Kent's a strike away from ending the threat. 2 on and 2 out in the 5th. Aces lead 1-0 thanks to Ryan Lavarnway's home run. Lavarnway was hitless in that first game with the Aces. Did get a walk on Thursday, but his first hit coming up in a big way. Kent deals. Just missing outside, and it's 2-2.
Oh, I know Kent wants this last out in a bad way, a chance to qualify for the win in his first start of the year against his former team he spent a decade with. He's been so good. You know, a 1-0 lead is a slim lead to work with, but it's a lead nonetheless. Big pitch coming here on 2-1.
The pitch. Hard line drive over the glove of George, and that's going in the corner and right. 1 run will score. This game is tied, and the next one holds up at third base. So Cole Roederer ties things up with an RBI double, and it's 1-1 now with 2 outs here in the 5th inning.
Yeah, we've seen 3 straight hits from Canberra hitters, and it could just be fatigue setting in for Kent. But you give Canberra credit. I mean, the 3 guys that were able to get on base, Garbella, McKenzie, and Roederer, got good pitches to hit, and they did damage with them.
And fatigue or not, John Kennedy is starting his warm-ups in the Aces bullpen. And now Kent in a sticky situation with 2 runners in scoring position, but 2 outs in the 5th for Cam Warner. The pitch. Called first strike on the outside corner. Still a good outing, and George was pretty close to making that catch.
And give credit to Skoll for getting that ball in quickly. An excellent relay by the Aces to keep that second run from scoring.
Warner 0 for 2 as well. 2 flyouts in his 2 prior at-bats. The 1-1. High breaking ball, and it's 1-1. 4 pitches in the arsenal for Kent. A 4-seamer, which we've seen a lot of. Cutter, change, and a curve are his other 3. 26 and 22 in his 10 prior seasons with Canberra. 0-2 in his first year with the Aces. Fouled away by Warner, and Kent is 1 strike away.
Could be Kent's last batter. You know, he may get 2 more. Either way, this is most definitely his last inning, you know, once he gets this final out. But right now, just trying to limit the damage and keep the game tied.
And I know Peter Moylan would like to see him finish out the inning. He's a strike away from doing so. 1-2. Wave and a whiff, strike 3. Steve Kent strikes out the final batter of the 5th after letting up a run. The game is tied, but we're in the middle of another tight one here on New Year's Eve. Halfway home at Melbourne Ballpark, 1-1 the score between the Aces and the Cavalry.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
Light and Easy's award-winning healthy meal delivery service features over 235 delicious breakfasts, lunches and dinners for everyone to enjoy. From those who want to lose weight to those who want to gain more free time. From those who want to be a little healthier to those a little older who want to age well. There's no shopping or cooking and there's no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, ready-to-eat meals delivered to your door when you need them. Visit lightandeasy.com.au today.
Another beautiful sunset brewing here at Melbourne Ballpark, and a nice game here on New Year's Eve. A run in each of the last 2 half innings as Matt O'Neill tries to continue that trend, leading off the 5th in a 1-1 ball game. Josh Sperber, Mike Marcantonini here as O'Neill awaits the pitch from Pfeiffer, fouls this away, and it's 1-1. O'Neill 0 for 1 on the day, grounded out to short his last time up. Primary catcher playing DH to allow the 10-year Major League vet to catch. But O'Neill has been a consistent presence in the Aces lineup all year. 1-2 the count on him, and Pfeiffer quickly deals. Breaking ball, just missing low, and it's 2-2. O'Neill, like Lavarnway, quickly endeared himself to Aces fans with an early home run, a walk-off grand slam in the second game of the Geelong series. 2-2. Swing and a miss. There's strike 3. Pfeiffer's been pitching mostly to contact, but he gets his 3rd strikeout of the day, second of which has come swinging, and that will reset the lineup card for Jacob Robson. Robson put into the leadoff spot for the first time with Whitefield's night off. He is 0 for 2 on the day, a ground out and a fly out. That misses outside for ball 1. And Robson getting into that leadoff role because of his ability to get on base pretty efficiently over these last couple of games. Last night he got on base in each of his last 3 at-bats as he takes the pitch outside to make it 2-0. 2 consecutive walks and a single, a stolen base, and a run scored in Robson's last 3 at-bats. He was 1 for 2, and he is 1 missed pitch away from becoming the first Aces player to reach on a walk. In Game 1, Robson reached on a fielder's choice and a single, driving in a run as well. Here he reaches on a 4-pitch walk, and he stole pretty quickly in last night's contest. So keep an eye on him at first base. 6 steals in 7 attempts for Jacob Robson. That puts him 2nd on the team. That'll bring up Jared Dale, who had a 2-out single in his last at-bat. Made it all the way to third base on an error by the third baseman. Robson's off on the first pitch, slides feet first, and is tagged out. 2nd time he's been caught. And it's an 0-1 count to Jared Dale. This time, Robbie Perkins knew it was coming. A quick pop-up, and Robson was beaten by a step. Oh-1. Swing and a miss, and it's strike 2 to Dale. Dale's had his batting average hovering right around 200 all year long. A very versatile infielder for the Aces. 3rd, short, and 2nd among his positions that he's played this season. 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 strikeouts, and the Aces go down in order in the 5th after the one man who reached base was caught stealing. We're through 5 here in Melbourne Ballpark. It's a tie ball game, 1-1 here on New Year's Eve.
One Love is there for the moments with the people you love the most. To share the highs and the lows together. It's the one for all people, all times, and all places. Brick Lane's One Love Pale Ale. It's the one for all.
A packed house here at Melbourne Ballpark watching a solid game unfold. 1-1 the score. Josh Sperber here welcoming in Ed Wyatt to the broadcast booth. Good to have you back, Ed.
Great to be back, Josh. You're right. Huge crowd. 3 nights in a row. This is one of the biggest attendances for an Aces series I've seen in a long time, and a real tribute to the fans, right, for coming out, and especially on New Year's Eve, which is great.
Who wouldn't want to see baseball on New Year's Eve?
Agree, 100%.
And we have our first pitching change of the day, brought to you by our friends at punt123.bet. John Kennedy coming into the game, a longtime member of the Melbourne Aces, making his 7th relief appearance. He has pitched 9 innings so far, all of them out of the pen. 8 hits, 4 runs, a walk, and 6 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .250 against the big left-hander out of Melbourne. First pitch is fouled away by Robbie Perkins. So the night over for Stephen Kent, and he had a really solid first start of the year.
Sure did. Yeah. Wasn't sure how long he was going to go. I think this is probably about right. I thought maybe 6, maybe 7 if we're lucky, but this probably makes sense.
Weak grounder to the pitcher. Kennedy spins around, fires to first, beating Perkins by a step. And there's the first down of the inning. The 6'7" lefty, John Kennedy, using every inch of that frame to get to that baseball.
What he lacks in speed off that rubber, he makes up for in an incredibly brilliant throw. Just rifled that over there.
Well, the speed is certainly not to be wanted for on his throws. He's got a hard fastball that hits the mid-90s. 4-seamer, a change, and a curve are his 3 pitches, and now he'll face Tillman Pugh.
Love watching this guy pitch, I'll be honest with you. Just a lot of fun over the years. Just the way he works. He's pitched out of some really big jams over the years when you weren't sure he was going to get out of them.
Here's the 0-1. Hit off the end of the bat, and it's 0-2. And one of his first outings here at home was in one of those jams against Brisbane. Dan McGraw, an inning and 2/3 into the game, suffered an injury. We hope to see him back soon. But Kennedy came in with runners on base just out of the blue, and he did really well.
Pugh having a rough night. He came in hitting 4 for 9 in the series with that home run last night, but 3 strikeouts tonight if my statistics are right.
Your statistics all right. A strikeout looking, and now 2 swinging after that 3-pitch K from John Kennedy. So 2 gone as Kennedy is working quickly through this Cavalry lineup. And him and Kent were really the 2 guys that I thought could be ticketed to take over those starting roles left by Mizuki Miura and Kyuta Kazama if we're going off of that Geelong series.
Yep.
But Kennedy obviously not going to be starting tomorrow. Kent started today, so that 4th spot is pretty open. 1-0. Swing and a miss to Boss Monaroa, and it's 1-1.
Great to see the Aces get out to that early lead on that home run, but of course Canberra come right back and tie it up where we are for a lot of this series.
Ooh. And the 1-1 hits Monaroa on the front shoulder. He'll smile before heading on to first base with 2 outs.
3rd hit batsman in this series.
Not bad.
Yeah.
One per game.
Yeah, that's right.
And that one hard for Monaroa to get out of the way, but he takes that one in stride. I think he likes getting hit.
I don't think that hurt him a bit.
No. He shook that off easily. Might be why they call him Boss.
He's a big man.
Mitch Edwards takes his first pitch low for a strike. Or for a ball, excuse me. He struck out his last time up, but doubled in the 3rd. To close Kent's line after this pitch, 1-0, lifted into foul territory, foul towards the All-Star bar. Kent will not get a decision tonight, but did have another great start. 16 strikeouts by starting pitchers for the Aces in the last 2 nights. Kent with 8 tonight, 1 walk, 1 earned run on 5 hits. A really outstanding start.
Yeah, it certainly is, and what you come to expect from a veteran like Kent, to be honest.
Doing it against his old team, no less.
Absolutely.
Chopped foul, and it's 1-2. Edwards in his second game of the series. He's got a runner on. Boss Motorola representing the go-ahead run. Edwards, 232 hitter so far this season. The pitch, missing outside, 2-2.
Another beautiful night. The weather is just, may have been hot during the day, but it really cools down beautifully right around first pitch.
2-2. Swing and a miss, strike three. 2 strikeouts to end the inning for John Kennedy. And a nice start to his game. So we'll head to the bottom of the 6th. The runner stranded. No hits, no errors, no runs. Bottom of the 6th inning. It's a 1-1 ball game here on New Year's Eve. Stick with us on Aces TV.
For over 40 years, All Green Nursery has been providing the communities of Melbourne's western and northern suburbs the best advice and results for their gardens. Our retail centre, indoor plant space and expansive nursery floor showcases over 150 varieties of vibrant plants, most of them grown locally right here in Werribee South. We have qualified horticulturists on site to help assist with all your gardening needs, and our home decor section is stocked with a full range of quality options. All Green Nursery, your local plant nursery and garden centre. Visit our sites in Hoppers Crossing and Epping. All-Star Access Hire are your access equipment specialists. We have an extensive range of state-of-the-art equipment and we pride ourselves on delivering outstanding customer service. We have the youngest fleet of equipment in Victoria and we are consistently adding new machines. We get to know our customers and form partnerships with them. This video is of our partnership with the Victorian Government at Reservoir Station. All-Star Access Hire are proud sponsors of the Melbourne Aces and our All-Star Bar.
Bottom of the 6th and a brand new ball game in Melbourne. 1-1 as Robbie Glendinning fouls the first pitch of the bottom 6th off of his shoe. He's reached base twice, but one time unsafely. Reached on an error in the 3rd, singled with 2 outs in the 1st. Pfeiffer deals. He's out for the 6th inning, and the slider misses low to make it 1-1. Josh Sperber, Ed White in the booth with you, and we've once again been treated to spectacular starting pitching.
I was literally about to say that. Pfeiffer has been really good.
Here's the 1-1.
And we already talked about Kent, obviously, for the Aces. But you're right, it's been something. Hitters have struggled. Pitching has been spectacular. And really, the score lines have kind of blown out, but it isn't necessarily indicative of how close the games were, especially that first game.
Yeah, all 8 of those runs coming in the 12th inning.
Extraordinary.
I mean, that a very close game until the end. But
yeah.
Pfeiffer so far, 4 hits allowed, 4 strikeouts and a walk. Of course, one of those 4 hits did not come back. 2-2 to Glendinning as Pfeiffer deals. Misses low, and the count runs full.
It's great to see that home run from Lavarnway. You know, that's a real thing that'll get him going now, as we mentioned, only a couple of days off the plane.
Payoff pitch, hit to short, a sliding stop by McKenzie. He's going to fire to first, and the defense continues to impress for Canberra. 1 gone, and Robbie Glendinning robbed of a base hit.
Yeah, that's a really nice play. We're going to look at it here on a replay. Sharply hit. Look at that glove work. Great throw to first.
And a phenomenal camera angle as well, if I must say. Got to see all of that from right behind home plate, and that same angle capturing Daryl George in the on-deck circle. It's Jake Skoll who takes the first pitch upstairs, count 1-0.
Did that camera make me look okay when I did my stand-up a couple innings ago?
Any camera makes you look great, Ed.
You're too nice. You're way too nice, Josh.
I only tell the truth. Skoll takes a hefty hack but misses, 1-1. He's been looking for some fastballs, and Pfeiffer's making him pay for it. Skoll has reached base in now all 7 of his games at Melbourne Ballpark. 1-1, swing and a miss, and it's 1-2.
Skoll opting for the very high stocking look. The high blue stockings. One of the few, actually.
I mean, when you got those nice Melbourne Aces socks.
Exactly. Got them for Christmas.
You want to show them off. Or maybe he got them in the team store. You can get those socks at the team store. I know I'm getting a couple pairs.
I got a sweatshirt, wind cheater, whatever you want to call it, from my dad. Took it back over the holidays. He loved it. Fit him perfectly. Beautiful Melbourne Aces t-shirt. Probably the only person wearing one in Camas, Washington, I would suggest.
Yeah, I got to figure out what I'm getting my family.
There are plenty of options.
2-2. Swing and a miss, and it's strike 3. 2 straight strikeouts for Skoll. He has been the strikeout victim 2 of the 5 times Pfeiffer has sent the Aces down on strikes. So 2-way now for Darryl George, who struck out in the first. He was the first strikeout victim of Pfeiffer. Had a hot start to the season, but cooled off a little bit in that Geelong series. A guy who is certainly due to get back on track as well. He's a guy you expect to hit.
Right.
And another sliding stop. Jake McKenzie impressing. A golden glove for the shortstop as he robs the Aces of 2 base hits in a quick 1-2-3-6 inning. We're heading to the 7th. The score is tied at 1. You're going to hear more from Ed, but Mike Marcantonini is going to take over from me here on Aces TV. New Year's Eve baseball. Keep on watching.
Aussie gardeners are best served by Aussie tools, built specifically for our unique environment and conditions. Back in the 1890s, Leonard Chambers and William Thompson started a beekeeping supply business in Melbourne. Little would they know that their company would go on to change how Australians garden for well over a century. Cyclone is ingrained into our country's history and our way of life. Our tools are long-lasting and purpose-built for hard work.
We've been making quality tools for over a century.
They last that long, you can hand them down to the next generation.
Good, quality, honest product that the Australian people have grown to love.
It's not an Aussie shed without a cyclone.
My biggest takeaway of being here for 34 years is just sense of pride in the product.
Australians buy good products. So if they keep on buying, we keep on making, so we're here.
Cyclone tools, made for Australians.
When enjoying a punt, easy does it with Punt 123. Punt123.bet is your home for all your punting needs with same race multis and same game multi options, including daily promotions on all the major sporting and racing events. It's punting made easy. Get in the game with Punt 123. Visit punt123.bet or download the app today. Gamble responsibly. If gambling becomes an issue for you, call 1-800-858-858.
Top of the 7th inning from Melbourne Ballpark. We're knotted at 1. It's the Cavalry and the Aces in Game 3 of a 4-game set here on New Year's Eve. Beautiful sunset off in the distance at Melbourne Ballpark. I mean, that's something that we can say every night here, Ed.
I call that shot sunset over the All-Star Bar. That's what I call that.
I like that. That would be the name of a painting if we had it up on the wall here.
Exactly right. It is another beautiful night, Mike. Great to be here with you and Josh earlier. Just a great night and another tight game.
Aussie Mike, Josh Sperber, and Ed Wyatt bringing you the action tonight. Well, Ed, this is really cool for me as John Kennedy goes back to work for his 2nd inning in the 7th. Getting to call baseball on New Year's Eve. I know Josh and I talked about it early on in the broadcast. I mean, I never thought I'd be doing something like that.
It's pretty unique, isn't it?
Kennedy gets a swing and a miss there. He looks dialed in. It's 2-2 on the 8-hole hitter Chris Quitzer. And not only is it baseball on New Year's Eve, but I'm on another continent right now, halfway across the world. It's pretty tough to wrap my head around, but it's fun thinking about it. Ground ball to the right side. It's through into right field, so Quitzer has a leadoff base hit here in the 7th.
You will also be into 2023 before all your friends back in the States, so you've got that option. Got a friend in Seattle that every year texts me and goes, "Is everything okay? Has the year happened?" And I go, "It sure has. You got nothing to worry about."
Yeah, so I'll be 16 hours ahead of everybody back home. So I'll be in a another year for 16 hours before they are. Now, I have had one New Year's Eve where I was in California, so I was 3 hours behind everybody back home. This time, I'm getting ahead of them.
You're on the cutting edge.
By almost a full day.
You can start a trend. You get 16 hours to start a trend to be the first to do something in 2023.
I'll tell them about all the new trends in 2023. They're stuck. Y'all are stuck back in 2022. I'll see what I can do in my first 16 hours of the new year. Probably going to sleep for a few of them. At least I hope. We'll be back at the ballpark for some of them as well. Quick turnaround tomorrow, a show-and-go day game, 1 p.m. on New Year's Day at Melbourne Ballpark. If you want to come out to the ballpark and catch a game, head over to melbourneaces.com.au, grab your tickets.
Kennedy very concerned here about Quitzer over on first. He's gone over there twice.
Each team with a run on 5 hits. Runs hard to come by again tonight. Kennedy goes to the plate there and gets a swing and a miss from Garbella. Another breaking ball from John. Well, how about Steve Kent tonight?
So impressive.
First start of the season, his longest outing of the year, 5 innings of 1-run ball, 4 2/3 shutout frames before the Cavalry strung together 3 hits to tie the game. John Kennedy's been good. Here's a guy you've seen a good amount of over the years.
I was saying that to Josh earlier in the last inning. He's just been a fun guy to watch over the years, getting out of really big jams and coming up big in really crucial situations. Just a lot of fun to watch.
Kennedy making his second appearance of the series. He tossed a scoreless inning in Game 1. But he's back out there again, a trusted weapon out of the Aces bullpen. And like you said, Ed, concerned over there with Quitzer. And with the game tied and runs as hard to come by as they've been, understand that for sure.
Yep.
Quitzer's base hit was the 6th of the game for Canberra, the Aces with 4. Well, good to see Ryan Lavarnway getting the Aces on the board. His first ABL hit a home run, and then Canberra in the next half inning came back with a run.
Takes a lot of pressure off him, doesn't it? Getting that first big bomb of his young career. Young Aces career, I should say.
Here's a chopper to short, could be 2. Glendenning, Dale, George. Ooh. He beat it at first, but the Aces get the lead man. And there's one down here in the top of the 7th. So a fielder's choice. And Garbella is the man at first. Now back to the top of the order for Jake McKenzie.
Made 2 brilliant plays in that last inning, robbing Aces of at least 1 hit, maybe 2.
So New Year's Eve here at the ballpark, first time that I'm celebrating New Year's Eve in a broadcast booth. Ed, a lot of people have holiday traditions. Do you have anything that you do pretty much every year on New Year's Eve? Do you have like a set New Year's Eve schedule other than being at the ballpark from time to time?
I do indeed. We got really good friends who have a pool, and we go over there and play some cards and do whatever. Nothing massive, but my son always jumps in the pool at midnight when it counts down, and he's done that for the last 4 or 5 years.
I like that.
It's kind of like the ball dropping in New York. It's him jumping into the pool.
I like that a lot better than, New York. It's probably, 20 degrees Fahrenheit
exactly,
right now?
Yeah.
I don't know what that is in Celsius, but, yeah, I mean, to be somewhere where you could jump in the pool on New Year's Eve and not freeze, I like that. 1-1 from Kennedy, tap foul.
It just takes that adjustment, doesn't it? I mean, I've been here 20 years. I'm still not totally used to the Christmas in the summer situation, but you just kind of make the most of it. You go, all right, I'm going to have some prawns and a barbecue. I guess I can do that for Christmas.
Oh, I love that.
That works.
Yeah, I love it.
It's just about adjusting to it.
I spent Christmas on St. Kilda Beach. Great way to have my, it's usually not a white Christmas back home in Pennsylvania. We don't usually get a ton of snow until after the New Year.
Yeah.
But I have had white Christmases before. This was my first white sand Christmas. Give me that every year. Lock it in. My first warm weather New Year's Eve. There's a ground ball to first. Nice play by George over to second. Back to first. In time. Wow. 3-6-3 on the inning-ending double play. And John Kennedy gets out of it with another scoreless frame. Darryl George and Robbie Glendenning flash in the leather. Take a look at this replay. George fielded it through to first in one motion, and then why not head back to the bag, catch the return throw, and the inning is over. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, no one left. Time to stretch at Melbourne Ballpark. Bottom 7 after this on Aces TV. For over 45 years, Hobson's Bay Dental has delivered the best results through continually updating their skills and technology. Dr. Andrews and his team also take great pride in treating patients like family. Melbourne Aces players trust their teeth with Hobson's Bay Dental, and you should too. Business Network International is flourishing across Melbourne's West and Geelong. Local businesses, including the Aces, join BNI for professional development, networking opportunities, and to increase business prospects. Find your local BNI chapter to tap into a wealth of resources and to join a winning team. New Era Technology provides specialized IT solutions for your business around internet and voice communications, managed services, as well as secure cloud hosting for data and software. Trusted by the Aces, New Era has an extensive team of engineers and sales professionals who provide hands-on collaboration that is backed by deep industry training. Well, everybody's having fun at Melbourne Ballpark tonight. We are having fun up in the booth. Michael Mark Cantonini, along with Ed Wyatt. Josh Sperber will be back in the booth next inning. Well, Ed, the vibes are high tonight. It's been fun. The Aces looking to break this 1-1 tie.
Absolutely right. And it's been a strange series, hasn't it? I mean, this is a very good team. This is a team that's been put together with a lot of thought. They just need to get that win to get the momentum going, right? It kind of feels like, this happens in baseball a lot, just feel like things aren't going your way. One little break here and there, and suddenly a loss turns into a win. So we're hoping to see that in the last few innings here.
Chris Burke takes a breaking ball outside, 2-1 on Burke.
I mean, you look at that first game of the series, right? It was scoreless for 12 innings or 11 innings. Either team could have won that game, right? There were so many opportunities. And that game kind of may have turned the series a little bit, right? Canberra comes back and wins that second game, and suddenly they're fired up and high-five and all that. The Aces are going, what do we need to do to win this thing? So,
well, we've seen some crazy things happen in baseball, and you said how weird of a series it's been.
Yes.
And all it takes is one ball. I said it earlier to Josh, all it takes is one ball to fall, and you start stringing some hits together. You go double, single, double. You mix a couple homers in there. You got a leadoff walk here.
Yep.
Chris Burke, maybe that sparks a rally. But the Aces just need to flip that script and get the vibes going back in their direction.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Oh, boy, but wasn't that LaVarnway home run just electric? He got the fireworks off in the distance, gave the Aces their first lead of the series.
Well, I was down there getting ready to do that little cross,
yeah.
And I had to sit down, obviously, so people could see over me, and the crowd was going nuts when he hit that thing.
So here's LaVarnway up for the third time tonight. Burke's on first with no outs. LaVarnway's solo homer to left his last time up was his first ABL hit in just his second game with the team. Been a pretty eventful week for Ryan. You know, you fly halfway across the world, 15 hours from LA to Melbourne. Now, he did get a direct flight. That helps.
Yep.
So only had to deal with one flight.
And it didn't get delayed like the ones you've seen. The people that had to land in American Samoa. I don't know if you saw that. A United flight.
No, I didn't.
From San Francisco to Sydney, they had to stop.
Yikes.
And they're spending New Year's Eve in American Samoa.
Wild. So his flight was all good. He hops off the plane. Mick picked him up at the airport, brought him to the ballpark, hopped into an interview with me less than 2 hours after getting off the plane.
Jeez, that's a tough ask.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, like he was willing to do it, and they were like, "Hey, you're gonna do an interview with Ryan." I'm like, "All right, let's do it. Let's have some fun." And then he had to come to training later that day at 5 p.m. So he got a quick nap in, came back, did that, caught 12 innings the next day. Yesterday got a much earned day off.
Yeah.
And you see, definitely looks fresh out there today. 1-2, that's down.
Well, anyone who travels can experience sort of jet lag, but he's coming off it and jumping into a professional baseball setting. Most people don't have to do that. They might have to go to a meeting or something. Yeah. He's actually catching, as you said, 12 innings.
Yeah, that ball might have some jet lag, the one he hit back in the fourth inning. Tell you that. That was definitely So far this series, definitely the most electric Aces moment. Burke takes that for second as Lavarnway crushes one down the left field line, but that one hooked just a little bit foul.
Oh.
Dude's got some pop.
Oh.
He hit that one a long Lavarnway.
You've been waiting for that one, haven't you?
To be honest, I just thought of it. I saw the name on the back of the jersey. I'm like, this'll work. That'll work right there.
Look at that. And that, you know what? That's kind of what I was talking about. Essentially, that goes a couple of meters the other way. The Aces are up 3-1.
Well, Lavarnway digs back in, looking to straighten that one out. 2 balls and 2 strikes with the go-ahead run at first. It's Burke over there with no outs. He takes off again, and Lavarnway spoils another one foul. You like the decision to put Burke in motion here with no outs?
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Caught stealing earlier, Robson in the 5th. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I don't want to second guess a guy like Pete Moylan, but it's an interesting move for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the Aces have only scored 5 runs this series, counting the run tonight.
Yeah.
Maybe stay out of the double play.
Yep, good point.
Open up a hole for Lavarnway to hit one through.
That's a very good point, actually.
You just never know.
Yep.
So now Pfeiffer, who's still out there in the 7th, keep an eye on Burke. 6 innings of 1-run ball so far for Pfeiffer. Steve Kent started for the Aces, went 5 innings. John Kennedy's tossed the last 2 in scoreless fashion.
There is some action in the Cavalry bullpen as well, Mike, so this could be it for Pfeiffer.
You know, and considering the fact that they have somebody up right now, these last 2 moves to first may just be for him to buy his reliever a little more time. 2-2, Lavarnway hits one on the screws out to left, but this time right at Tillman Pugh. Not enough height or length on that one, but another hit ball, hard hit ball from Lavarnway. Got to get that one up. Need a little wind to get that one up in the air a little bit. Could use just some wind overall. It's kind of humid tonight at the ballpark.
It is a bit
sweating
humid.
a little bit.
Yeah, it was a little windier out there when I was sitting out in the crowd, but you can see the flags out in the outfield are pretty limited. And there's a shot of the Cavalry bullpen down there.
Looks like 2 guys loose. And Canberra manager Keith Ward out to the mound to chat with Pfeiffer. We'll see if he makes a move.
I see Jimmy Boyce, one of the guys he pitched the other night.
And while we have some time with the Canberra meeting on the mound, we'll give you a quick word from one of our sponsors. Makers of Dasher and Fisher began in 2017 with a vision to specialize in gins that speak of place and express Tasmania's remoteness and untouched beauty. Taste the rich, fertile soils and pure Cradle Mountain snowmelt in every drop of Dasher and Fisher Tasmanian gin.
You had any of that yet?
I have. Big fan.
Yeah?
Big fan. So I've had a chance to dabble in the Dasher and Fisher Tasmanian gin,
Nice.
Those canned mixed drinks that they got, and of course the Brick Lane beers that they've got here. You know, 2 proud sponsors of the Aces, as J.D. Osborne sends a line drive into right for a base hit. But the point being, plenty of good options drink-wise here at the ballpark.
Yep.
So Pfeiffer's still in there after the meeting on the mound.
And I do think that was Jimmy Boyce who pitched the other night.
The runners at first and second for the Aces. The go-ahead runs out at second for Matt O'Neill, the catcher, who's 0 for 2 with a ground out and a strikeout tonight. O'Neill getting a night off from behind the plate. He's the designated hitter. We're tied at 1 in the 7th. That one almost got away from Perkins, but a good stop by the ABL veteran who reached the 300-game mark in his ABL career last night. All with one team.
He's been a great servant of the Cavalry and the ABL as well, Robbie Perkins.
It's really cool to see so many guys who play in the ABL just year after year, same team. It's pretty cool because now over in the States, especially at the major league level, the guys change teams all the time. Yeah. You know, you don't see guys staying with one team their entire careers, but these local guys in the ABL sticking around. You know, Darryl George, an example, in Melbourne.
Another example, yep.
Pretty cool to see. Burke at second, Osborne at first. O'Neill sends a liner into center. Burke held up for a second to see if it would be caught, and he's held up at third. So the bases are loaded now for the Aces after O'Neill's single, and they're in business. The go-ahead run is 90 feet away, with Robson, the leadoff man, up with just one down.
We'll see what Canberra manager Keith Ward is thinking. Haven't seen any movement from the dugout, so it looks like Pfeiffer may stay out and face Robson.
And I think the only reason he's still out there is because of the lefty-lefty matchup. You got to think that's probably his last batter right here with Robson.
I think you're right. Yep.
Burke at third, Osborne at second, O'Neill at first. Walk, single, single is how they reached respectively. Robson swings at the first pitch and sends one to deep left center. This should score Burke. Chris tags from third. The throw goes to third. A sac fly for Jacob Robson, and the Aces regain the lead here in the seventh. So Jacob Robson, the aggressive approach pays off. He swings at the first pitch, sends one deep enough into left center that Burke could tag and score easily. And the Aces in a pitcher's duel once again have a one-run advantage.
It was one of those moments we talked about. Would be nice to have gotten a hit there, obviously, but beggars can't be choosers. A one-run lead is certainly something you want to see, and you're right on, Mike, because here comes Keith Ward to make a move.
So Keith Ward will take the baseball from Scott Pfeiffer, who goes 6 2/3 innings. He's given up 2 runs so far, but he's responsible for the runners at both first and second. His line is not closed yet. He was good tonight for sure. 5 strikeouts, just 2 walks, and he gave up just 6 hits. But the Aces have the lead, so he can lose it, he cannot win it. We'll tell you about the new pitcher after a quick break. We'll come back in about 45 seconds here on Aces TV.
When enjoying a punt, easy does it with Punt 123. Punt123.bet is your home for all your punting needs with same race multis and same game multi options, including daily promotions on all the major sporting and racing events. It's punting made easy. Get in the game with Punt 123. Visit punt123.bet or download the app today. Gamble responsibly. If gambling becomes an issue for you, call 1-800-858-858.
Order your favourite meals from Light and Easy's new spring menu and enjoy amazing food, more free time and a healthier life. No shopping or cooking and no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, delicious meals delivered to your door. Order today.
Aces back on top with 1 down in the bottom of the 7th. Runners at first and second as the inning continues. A Jacob Robson sacrifice fly has given the Aces a 2-1 advantage. They got on the board in the 4th when Ryan Lavarnway sent a solo homer over the left field wall. Cavalry tied it in the top of the 5th. But Ed, Aces back on top after the sac fly and a chance to do more damage on this punt 1-2-3 pitching change as Jimmy Boyce comes on for the 2nd time this series.
Jimmy Boyce, a Kiwi who played in at a community college in Washington State, as we look at the sacrifice fly there that brings in the run. Boyce came here a few years ago. I want to say he hadn't won he lost his 6 starts in a row, something like that, when he was playing for the Auckland Tuatara. And he just pitched a blinder, lights out, shut the Aces down. Aces needed a win. It was one of the most remarkable pitching exhibitions I've seen from a guy that you didn't really expect anything from. And I went and talked to him after the game, having been from Washington and knowing where he was from. And I tell you what, he was so excited that day, and I reminded him of it when I saw him the other day here. Really nice kid, but I'm rooting for the Aces to get to him tonight, just so you know.
Yeah, well, love that connection. A great story from a few years back. He's had a really nice campaign for Canberra this season. In 12 relief appearances, he's 2-1 with a 2.60 ERA, 7 strikeouts, 7 walks in 17 1/3 innings of work. He was really good the other night, too.
Yeah, he was. And he's one of those guys, too, that can fight out of a jam, isn't worried if he gives up a couple of hits. But big chance now for the Aces to add a couple more to the lead.
Boyce inherits 2 runners as Jared Dale gets the first crack at him. First pitch breaking ball from Boyce, it's away. Dale 1 for 3 with a single in the 3rd. 2 hits and a walk for the Aces here in the 7th, as well as the sac fly off the bat of Robson. So 2 down now as Boyce looks to get the inning ender. Pfeiffer started and went 6 2/3. Dale takes in. It's 2-0. The boys played a key role in that 12-inning win for Canberra the other night. Frank Gailey tossed 8 innings of shutout baseball to start, and then Boyce and a couple other relievers shut it down from there. Aces looking for their first win of the series. 2-0 to Dale. Big cut there. Chops it foul.
We have seen some amazing pitching, haven't we? Gailey was tremendous the other night, as was Cody Mincy.
Pitcher's duel in that one last night. Pitcher's duel through the first 4 innings, and that's when the Canberra bats got going.
Yep.
But the Aces with 2 runs on 6 hits tonight. I guess it's a little tough to say with only 2 runs that the bats have gotten going, but they've produced more than they have in the first 2 games.
Yep.
Quick look at second for Boyce. Here's his 2-1 to Dale. Sends a breaking ball in the air, shallow center. Roeder under that one. He makes the grab, and the inning's over. So the 2 runs that come in to score come against starter Phil Pfeiffer. Those are the only 2 he allows as Boyce retires Dale for the final out. The Aces regain the lead on Robson's sac fly. A run on 2 hits, no errors, 2 men left. After 7 full, it's 2-1 Aces, top 8 after this. And Ed, we thank you for joining us in the booth. We'll talk to you again tomorrow.
See you soon.
At the Sporting Globe, we're a little different to other pubs and bars. We have more than just cooks, we have chefs. We have more than bar service, we have table service. We have more than specials, we have specialties. We have more than live sporting events, we have atmosphere. And we have more than customers, we have fans. It's more than a sports bar, it's a Sporting Globe.
Light and Easy's award-winning healthy meal delivery service features over 235 delicious breakfasts, lunches and dinners for everyone to enjoy. From those who want to lose weight to those who want to gain more free time. From those who want to be a little healthier to those a little older who want to age well. There's no shopping or cooking and there's no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, ready-to-eat meals delivered to your door when you need them. Visit lightandeasy.com.au today.
Aces in front 2-1 as we open up play in the top of the 8th inning. John Kennedy back out there for his 3rd inning of work. He gets 2, 3, 4 in the Canberra order. Roederer, Warner, and Perkins. Well, Kennedy the pitcher of record right now. Steve Kent went the first 5 in his first start of the year. And now Kennedy, 2 shutout innings in relief. Chance to keep it a 2-1 game and get the Aces back into the dugout looking for some insurance. Aussie Mike and Josh Sperber back in the booth here with you. Big shout out to Ed Wyatt for joining us for a couple innings. We'll talk to him next year. Left on left, the 1-1. The Roeder is over for a strike.
I've been waiting all year for you to make that joke.
Well, it really didn't cross my mind, and then you kind of gave me the idea in between innings, so I'll give you the credit there.
I mean, I think we should give Sid Ryan the credit, our marketing intern, because she's been waiting to make those jokes.
Fly ball to left center field. Burke's out there. Robson as well. That one's off the base of the wall. Roederer digging for second. He pulls up there. It's a leadoff double for Cole Roederer. And the Cavalry, just like that, have the tying run at second.
Cole, a man on a mission tonight. 2 doubles for him. I think he took that an exception to that sacrifice fly. The Aces getting their first run of the game. He hit this ball really well. That was just a slider. Rare you see a lefty hit those in-out sliders off of another lefty. And I think that's going to be it for Kennedy.
So Kennedy yanked after the leadoff double from Roederer. And the first batter to greet the new pitcher will be Cam Warner. But as John Kennedy gets a standing ovation for his 2+ innings in relief, We will step aside and let you know who the new pitcher is on this punt 1-2-3 pitching change when we come back. Keep it locked right here on Aces TV.
When enjoying a punt, easy does it with Punt 123. Punt123.bet is your home for all your punting needs with same race multis and same game multi options, including daily promotions on all the major sporting and racing events. It's punting made easy. Get in the game with Punt 123. Visit punt123.bet or download the app today. Gamble responsibly. If gambling becomes an issue for you, call 1-800-858-858.
Order your favourite meals from Light and Easy's new spring menu and enjoy amazing food, more free time and a healthier life. No shopping or cooking and no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, delicious meals delivered to your door. Order today.
Back with you on Aces TV. Kevin Lennox, the new pitcher for the Aces on this punt 1-2-3 pitching change. John Kennedy done after 2+ innings of work. He did not allow a run in either the 6th or the 7th, but Cole Roederer tagged him for an opposite field leadoff double here in the 8th. And Josh, I got to imagine that was the plan the whole way, have Kennedy face the lefty Roederer, and then with a couple righties due up, bring in Lennox, but it just so happened that Roederer got him for a double. It would have been obviously more ideal had Kennedy been able to get the out there. But either way, Lennox on to face a trio of righties in a row.
And also, this is the guy you want with a game on the line. Lennox has been shut down his last couple of starts. We talked about in the Brick Lane pregame show yesterday, in that 10th inning in Game 1, Lennox made a fantastic defensive play, stopped a sacrifice by getting the lead runner at third instead of going to first base, and then struck out the next two batters. That was the last time Aces fans have seen him. I expect to see more of the same from Lennox here tonight.
A 1.93 ERA for Lennox in 5 appearances, 4 2/3 innings, just 1 run, 6 strikeouts, no walks. Key number there is the 0 in the walk column. Opponents hitting just 133 against the hard-throwing righty, who spent a lot of time in the minor leagues with the Rangers, Royals, and Red Sox. A lot of time at AAA as well. So the man on second and no outs. The Aces will bring George, the first baseman, in a little bit, possibly expecting a bunt from Warner. Warner not showing bunt, takes a strike from Lennox, 0-1.
Rare you'll see a three-hole guy bunt, but that's the versatility that Canberra have. They don't base their lineup on power. They base their lineup on just getting hits at the right times and smart baseball.
Swing and a miss there. Lennox wasting no time pumping the cheese out of the pen.
Yeah, he's definitely coming ready.
What are we thinking here? Another fastball up top?
I mean, it's worked so well so far. I think a nice high and tight fastball to try and get a strike 3.
Lennox set the pitch, fouled back. He did go fastball high. Lennox allowed just 2 hits this season. No walks, no hit batters, so only 2 have reached base against Kev.
Yeah, he's looked really solid coming out of the bullpen since coming to the Aces, one of their more recent acquisitions. And he seems to have stepped into the closer role, so we'll see if he comes back out for the 9th as well.
Highest leverage spot of the game so far, and the Aces go to their stopper. And that's what stoppers do. A big punch out for Lennox as he gets out number 1 in the 8th.
Just fastball, 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 fastball. Straight attack mode for Kevin Lennox, and a great first at bat for him.
Here's Robbie Perkins, 1 for 3 with a double in the 4th. Roederer, the tying run at second. The last time the Aces scored to take a lead, the Cavalry came right back in the next half inning. Solo homer for Ryan Lavarnway in the bottom of the 4th. Canberra scored in the top of the 5th. Sac fly for Jacob Robson in the bottom of the 7th. Canberra with a man on second, a chance to tie the game again here in the 8th.
And Lavarnway was pretty close to a home run in that last inning as well.
Lennox keeping an eye on Roederer. Fastball fouled back, 1-1.
I think we're going to see a lot of fastballs from Lennox, not just because he has such a strong fastball that hits 95 and upward, but also because Roederer has good speed at second base, definitely aggressive enough to steal in this kind of situation. He's a guy who likes to make things happen in big moments, and Lennox is wary of that.
Lennox has one save this season for the Aces. If he were to save this one, he'd need to go 6 outs. Aces 5 outs away from snapping a 5-game losing streak, but those 5 will be difficult to get. Dale pinching up the middle. A big hole on that right side. 2-1. Breaking ball from Lennox there, and he got a swing and a miss.
And I was just waiting for him to pull the string because he was throwing fastball on every single pitch before that breaking ball. This one he decides to go over the middle, drop it down below the zone with a curveball. Really nice work by Kevin Lennox.
See what Lennox comes with here on 2-2, looking for back-to-back punch-outs. Got him. Breaking ball outside corner, and Perkins is down on strike. So 2 straight strikeouts for Lennox out of the pen. Just doing what he does. I mean, ain't nothing new that we've seen from him.
I mean, he just looks so relaxed on that mound right there. I mean, a runner on second base is just not phasing him, and I'm loving the pitch mix from Lennox.
So 2 outs and a man on second. Tillman Pugh, who's 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts, has a shot now. First pitch slider, so 3 straight breaking balls from Kev after a steady diet of fastballs.
Got a California connection for the Aces battery right now that's working pretty smoothly.
Fouled off, it's 1-1. Both Southern California guys. Both recent additions to the Aces. I mean, how cool is it for some of these Aces pitchers to have a guy like Ryan Lavarnway calling balls or calling pitches behind the plate?
I mean, we've said it time and time again. A guy who's been in 13 organizations, 8 different major league teams, 10 years in the majors. I mean, a guy with that much experience can just teach these players so much.
Lennox looking to make it 3 straight outs. Looks like he's got it here. Ground ball to short, Glendinning over to George, inning over. So Lennox retires all 3 batters he faces and gets the Aces out of the jam. Strands the tying run in scoring position, and through 8 innings, the Aces lead at 2-1. I'll throw it back to Josh for the 9th, but we'll take a break first on Aces TV.
Save that drive. When Brownie takes one for the team and Bradbury skated by. This golden crusty pastry watched as Taylor kick the sky. When Ben Simmons makes a 3, we give a big high five. What future sport looks like just won't be right without a pie. Oh, what a lovely pie, me mates are 4 and 25. Oi!
One Love is there for the moments with the people you love the most. To share the highs and the lows together. It's the one for all people, all times, and all places. Brick Lane's One Love Pale Ale. It's the one for all.
So sources are telling me it's not the 9th inning yet. It's only the bottom of the 8th. That's on me right there. I was about to throw it back to Josh thinking it was top 9, but it's the bottom of the 8th at Melbourne Ballpark on New Year's Eve, last day of 2022. I promise I'll come back refreshed next year, Josh.
Yeah, I think your head's already in 2023, my friend.
Thinking ahead. Can't think too far ahead, though, but the Aces with 3 outs to go to put one in the win column, but a chance here to add some insurance. Robbie Glendinning leading off the bottom of the 8th against Jimmy Boyce, who's back out there. It's Glendinning, Skoll, and George.
Problem is, if you even think a day ahead, you're in another year.
It's wild to think about. Ed and I talked about it when he was on in the 7th with me, but we're going to be 16 hours ahead of all our friends and fam back home.
Yeah.
That's wild to think about. We'll be in another year for 16 hours before they are.
Oddly enough, my grandmother has already wished me Happy New Year a couple hours before New Year's Eve here, so
Well,
she's way ahead of the game.
She's getting ahead.
Yeah,
for sure.
She's even ahead of us, who's way ahead of them.
Hey, I mean, she's locked in.
Oh, she is.
She knew you were going to celebrate New Year's first, so just get ahead. Glendinning takes a strike, 2-2.
And I really like to see the Aces put another run across here. Just keep the pressure on, just put more pressure on Canberra. Already enough. The Aces have time on their side, but another run would add that much more pressure in the 9th inning.
Looks like Evan Rutsky's up in the pen for the Aces. We'll see if the Aces stick with Lennox to start the 9th and potentially finish it, or if they make the move and go to Rutsky to start the frame. 2-2 to Glendinning, misses outside. Aces looking to get that leadoff man on and start something up.
They might be looking to go lefty-lefty because of the due-up. You have Boss Monaroa, a lefty, Mitch Edwards, a righty, Chris Quitzer, a lefty. So putting Rutsky in the pen may be to face the 2 of 3 lefties due up.
Well, the handed advantage so important nowadays. Lennox was electric, getting all 3 outs of the 8th after John Kennedy started the inning. Kennedy 2 scoreless in relief of Steve Kent, 5 innings of 1-run ball, and now Glendinning's on to start the 8th. Worked the count full in singles for the second time in this one. Back-to-back multi-hit games for Robbie. He had the first 2 hits for the Aces last night, but he did it 8 innings apart. A single in the first, a double in the 8th. How often do you see that?
I mean, for Robbie, you just see a hit pretty much every time. I mean, it doesn't really matter when it's coming. If he's at the box, you expect him to hit the ball.
Hits in the first and 8th innings again tonight, but plenty of other hits sprinkled in between for the Aces, who now have 7. Here's Jake Skoll. He takes a strike. Change-up down, 0-1. Ryan Lavarnway's solo homer put the Aces on the board in the bottom of the 4th. After Canberra tied it in the top of the 5th, Jacob Robson's sac fly broke the tie in the bottom of the 7th. A 1, make it 1-1. Great crowd on hand tonight on New Year's Eve in Melbourne. And they've been treated to a really fun game. Great pitching on both sides. The Aces with a slim advantage right now. Saw Ryan Lavarnway's first ABL homer. Shot off some fireworks as he rounded the bases. That was pretty cool. That's inside the Skoll, 2-1.
And Skoll's been really working counts. That's something that he does incredibly well. A really poised but powerful hitter. And the only time he did not take it deep in the count was when he swung at the first pitch and singled in the first.
Skoll flicks one off the end of the bat into left field. First 2 men on for the Aces here in the 8th. Back-to-back hits from Glendinning and Skoll for the second time in this game. Here's George.
And George is due. This is, again, as you said, the second time he's coming up with 2 on. This time on a really nice piece of hitting by Jake Skoll. Wasn't getting one down the middle because who would throw Jake Skoll a pitch down the middle? So he just took it the opposite way, got himself on base, and put a runner in scoring position for one of the best hitters in the league.
George could put this one away if he barrels one up. See if he can find some outfield grass. Glendinning at second, Skoll at first. No outs, bottom 8. Pitch from Boyce, breaking ball over. Taking a look around the rest of the ABL, the Adelaide Giants up 7-2 on the Auckland Tuatara. That game actually final, just 7-inning games in Auckland. Perth Heat took game 1 of a doubleheader in Brisbane 6-3, but the Bandits all over Perth 11-1, bottom 7 in that game. And then Geelong Korea 11-7 win over the Sydney Blue Sox. Ground ball back to the pitcher Boyce. They throw to second, got Skoll. Really close play at the bag, but Skoll is out number 1 here on the bases. But the Aces move Glendinning to third. George safe at first on the fielder's choice.
And the Aces got lucky a little bit there. Warner very late on the coverage to second base. Boyce was ready to flip for the double play, but Warner was still halfway to the bag. Ends up kind of rushing the throw a little bit just to try and get one runner. And the Aces now have a runner on third base.
Keith Ward takes the baseball from Jimmy Boyce. And we're seeing both managers aggressive with their bullpen, picking their spots. They want to bring their top guys out in a one-run game. Before we go to break, we'll have a word from another one of our sponsors. Crew Fitness and Performance has a more than vision. What drives the Crew team and its members is a dedication to community and an eagerness to be surrounded by a personal growth culture. Stop into their location in Braybrook or Hoppers Crossing to see for yourself. Well, Canberra's got a lefty coming in to face the left-handed hitter Chris Burke. Runners at first and third with the Aces up 1 in the bottom of the 8th. We'll step away for about 45 seconds, but keep it right here. You don't want to go anywhere on Aces TV.
When enjoying a punt, easy does it with Punt 123. Punt123.bet is your home for all your punting needs with same race multis and same game multi options, including daily promotions on all the major sporting and racing events. It's punting made easy. Get in the game with Punt 123. Visit punt123.bet or download the app today. Gamble responsibly. If gambling becomes an issue for you, call 1-800-858-858.
Order your favourite meals from Light and Easy's new spring menu and enjoy amazing food, more free time and a healthier life. No shopping or cooking and no contracts or subscriptions. Just your choice of affordable, delicious meals delivered to your door. Order today.
Great crowd on hand tonight at Melbourne Ballpark as we return from a quick break. Pitching change for the Cavalry as left-hander James Reeves takes over on this Punt 1-2-3 pitching change. Aces looking for more. They lead it 2-1 in the bottom of the 8th on New Year's Eve at Melbourne Ballpark. Robbie Glendinning's at third, Darryl George at first with one down. And the Cavalry will decide to go lefty-lefty with Burke due up. And an insurance run just 90 feet away. Double plays in order for Canberra. But the Aces looking for more. Burke then Lavarnway with one down. Josh, insurance runs or even just one insurance run would be massive here.
Yeah, and I think that they are bringing Reeves in to induce the double play. Lefty on lefty against Burke. And the way Lavarnway's been hitting the ball, you know they don't want to see him again.
Chris Burke with a chance to extend this Aces lead. Burke, a couple flyouts to right. He walked and scored in the 7th. So he came in to score that go-ahead run on Robson's sac fly. First pitch from Reeves to Burke. He shows bunt, and it's foul. I like that idea, a little safety squeeze action.
I was about to say, I mean, you want to get Lavarnway up. Lavarnway has been crushing the baseball so far tonight. And Burke just trying to move the runners across. I think it's a shrewd idea by Peter Moylan.
Well, he's not showing bunt there, and he takes a strike. Looked a little low, but it's 0-2.
That looked to me like it missed, but a close call. Ian Gavin's been calling the ball well behind home plate.
Reeves a tough matchup for any lefty. Here's his 0-2 to Burke. Pops one up. Foul territory. We'll see if it stays in play. It will not. Into the Canberra dugout. So Chris, another shot. Got to think he's getting another breaking ball here. Left on left with Reeves, as good as a breaking ball as he has.
With the infield in, I would be shocked if Reeves threw him a fastball here.
Third baseman Quitzer up. Another breaking ball, it's down. And the first baseman Monaroa up as well. Middle infielders McKenzie and Warner pinching for 2. Well, Burke runs well, so a ground ball in the infield isn't a surefire double play. And there's one way to get a run home. Ball gets away from Perkins. Glendinning slides in ahead of the tag. And the Aces add a run. It's 3-1 in the 8th.
Not the prettiest way to do it, but great heads-up base running. I love the eyes of Robbie Glendinning here. Look at him. He's looking homeward the entire way, and he is off as soon as that pitch misses. Great awareness by Robbie Glendinning to sprint home on a short backstop. That is not an easy run. Love the aggression from Robbie, and the Aces get a massive insurance run.
That was the number one key to the game tonight, Josh. Take advantage of mistakes. And the Aces able to capitalize and get an insurance run there. Burke fights off a 2-2 breaking ball. Oh, a W to close out 2022 would be huge for this Aces team as they look to turn a page into 2023 and make a run.
And we've said it all game. We've said it the last couple of series. One big win is going to be crucial for this team because momentum is so huge, particularly at this stage of the season.
Peel down to third, no swing. Burke still has life as Josh Matavesi said he held up. We'll get a look here on the replay. Tough angle from behind, but we'll see the no swing from Burke. Looked like he did hold up. George is out at second. He got there on the wild pitch that Glendinning scored on. (3-2). Burke waves at it. He's down on strikes. Out number 2. That brings up Lavarnway.
But that's a good at-bat from Burke. Obviously, you want him to get a hit. Still a run scored on his at-bat. So we can call that a positive. But at the end of the day, it's Ryan Lavarnway coming up against a left-hander who has just worked hard for that out.
So here's Lavarnway, who homered in the 4th and ripped a liner right at Pugh and left his last time up. Well, the sunsets just keep getting better at the ballpark here, Josh. Another fantastic baseball sky off in the distance. What more can you ask for? An Aces lead on New Year's Eve at the ballpark. Great weather. Awesome sunset. Had a good burger before the game. So, vibes are high.
Aces are in the lead. It's a beautiful night. That's as high as the vibes can get.
A couple cold ones after the game will only increase the vibes. Well, Lavarnway looking to stay hot at the plate. He's got another lefty on the mound. The home run he hit was off the lefty starter, Phil Pfeiffer. So the run that the Aces bring home here in the inning, charged to Jimmy Boyce. As he started the frame, he went an inning and 2/3 on the night. John Kennedy still the pitcher of record for the Aces. Well, Reeves has really slowed his pace down with Lavarnway up at the plate. It's 3-1 now.
And we have a gorgeous baseball sky as the backdrop for this big Ryan Lavarnway at bat. An insurance run already across, but a second one would just tie a bow on what's been a really solid game for Melbourne.
Next one to Lavarnway, that missed inside. And Lavarnway draws a walk. Second time he's been on tonight. The line keeps moving for J.D. Osborne. Osborne got the night off last night. Back in the lineup tonight. He is 1 for 3 with a single in the 7th. One of the most consistent hitters this season for Melbourne. Osborne had played in every game so far this season before the night off last night. Now Jacob Robson is the Aces Iron Man. He's the only ace who's played in every game this season. First one misses inside, and that slider is going a little too far off the plate for Reeves.
And he's got to be careful with that. Missing a slider going inside to a right-handed hitter could turn into trouble.
Aces will take at least a 2-run advantage into the top of the 9th with likely Evan Rutsky on the mound to close it out. One to Osborne. Tried to check his swing. He did, and it's a ball downstairs.
Seen a lot of sliders coming inside to the righty. If I were Osborne, that's the pitch I would look for. A low slider on the inside corner may be coming next from Reeves.
Osborne in a hitter's count. He sends a chopper to third. Quitzer handles it. Off-balance throw to Monaroa. And the inning is over. But a productive inning nonetheless for the Aces. They grab a run on 2 hits. The run comes in to score on the wild pitch from Reeves. And they leave 2. Chance to close it out. 3 outs to go. Evan Rutsky likely, we'll see if it's either him or Kevin Lennox to finish this thing off when we come back on Aces TV.
For over 40 years, All Green Nursery has been providing the communities of Melbourne's western and northern suburbs the best advice and results for their gardens. Our retail centre, indoor plant space and expansive nursery floor showcases over 150 varieties of vibrant plants, most of them grown locally right here in Werribee South. We have qualified horticulturalists on site to help assist with all your gardening needs, and our home decor section is stocked with a full range of quality options. All Green Nursery, your local plant nursery and garden centre. Visit our sites in Hoppers Crossing and Epping. All-Star Access Hire are your access equipment specialists. We have an extensive range of state-of-the-art equipment and we pride ourselves on delivering outstanding customer service. We have the youngest fleet of equipment in Victoria and we are consistently adding new machines. We get to know our customers and form partnerships with them. This video is of our partnership with the Victorian Government at Reservoir Station. All-Star Access Hire are proud sponsors of the Melbourne Aces and our All-Star Bar.
The last inning of the year. It all comes down to a bottom of the 9th inning where the Aces have a 2-run lead over the Canberra Cavalry. Kevin Lennox looking to get a 6-out save with lefty Evan Rutsky still warming up in the pen. And 2 lefties and a Melbourne native coming up for the Cavalry. It's Boss Monaroa, who's 3 games shy of a career 300. First pitch fouled away to make it 0-1. A long-time member of the ABL in a big spot. Lennox has mainly been a 1-inning guy, but he did not throw a lot of pitches in that 8th inning as that one dips below the zone to make it a 1-1 count. Lennox, 13 pitches, 10 for strikes. Obviously, it was 12-9 or 11-9 in that 8th, so he definitely has the length to at least get through 2 batters here I imagine that he's going to want to finish this out, and Peter Moreland wants that for him as well. That's why you bring a guy like him on in the later stage of the year.
I love that he's still out there. I mean, he has been so dominant since his first outing with the Aces. I mean, he's got the mindset for these late innings.
1-2, fouled away, and that's, I think, the fourth time that Boss Monaroa has fouled a pitch off himself.
Yeah, he's going to need some ice packs after the game. See if he gets a day off tomorrow.
He's going to feel that one next year.
Oh no.
That was inches away from being
Yikes.
A real bad one. And you got to love Ryan Lavarnway just selling out, getting in his whole pop-up ready to throw mode, even though he knows it's a foul ball.
He's awesome. He's so much fun back there.
1-2. Inside. Monaroa skips over it, and it's 2-2. So Aces have been in control for almost the entirety of this game. They got their first run on a Lavarnway homer back in the fourth, and then a Cole Roeder RBI double tied it up in the fifth. A fifth pitch that Boss Monaroa has fouled off himself, and the count stays 2-2. But then, in the seventh inning, a leadoff walk proved deadly as Chris Burt scored on a sacrifice fly from Jacob Robson, and another run came home on a wild pitch thrown by James Reeves in the previous inning, and that gets us and our 3-1 score. Hammered down the line, and Darryl George makes a diving play. Race to the bag, and George jogs into the pillow for out number one. A Golden Glove fielding play from the reigning Helms Award winner, and we're 2 outs away from 2023.
That's huge, because if he doesn't make that play, that's a man on second with no outs in the ninth, and you just don't want to deal with that. Look at this. That's a hot shot from Monaroa. Got it on the short hop. Had to sell out for it. Darryl George doing his thing.
A big-time play by a big-time player at a big time. Look at that dive. What a play by Darryl George. And Mitch Edwards, the switch hitter, hitting it from the left side of the plate. Fouls the first pitch away. He had the first hit of the game for Canberra back in the third, but has struck out swinging each of his last 2 at-bats. 0-1, chopped to second, fielded easily by Dale. He'll scoop and fire to George for out number 2. And the crowd can feel it. Aces looking to slap a 5-game losing streak. And Chris Quitzer is the Cavalry's last chance.
Let's go, baby. Let's finish this thing off. Put the W in New Year's Eve, and then let's go see what the rest of Melbourne has to offer here for the nightcap. You like that plan?
I'm with it. That sounds like fun. First pitch in there for a called strike. Quitzer 1 for 3 on the day, singled his last time up. And a trio of left-handed hitters coming up against the righty Lennox as he looks to earn a 6-out save. 0-1. Swing and a miss way in front of that breaking ball, and Canberra's down to their final strike.
Absolutely dialed in. Everything working for Lennox right now.
The bases are clear. 2 outs on the board, and 2 runs separate the Aces and the Canberra Cavalry. Lennox deals. Fouled away, will stay at 0-2. A large crowd of over 1,200 as we've seen 4 digits pack Melbourne Ballpark each day of round 7. And this crowd is into it. 0-2 again. Lennox in the stretch. Deals. Inside, ball 1. "23 pitches thrown for Lennox, 18 over the strike zone. That's almost 70% of his pitches gone for strikes. A great outing in relief for Kevin Lennox. The 1-2. High fly ball into shallow left field. This could do it. Easing under it is Burke, and he's going to make the catch to end the year. That's it for 2022, and the Aces cap off the year with a victory. 3-1, the losing streak ends, and a huge win for the Melbourne Aces.
Oh, that one was a lot of fun. It really was. To close out the calendar year with a W and to do it snapping a 5-game losing streak in the process. I mean, the vibes were high all night. The moment LaVarnway hit that home run to give the Aces a lead, had an even better feeling. Had a good feeling going in, but had an even better feeling after the home run. Pretty fun game to be a part of here, Josh.
And you love to see the fireworks, the first of this New Year's Eve, come after a victory, and a hard-fought one for the Melbourne Aces. We'll give you another recap. Had kind of a game reset earlier, but it was Ryan LaVarnway who got the scoring started for the Aces with a shot of a home run. His first hit as an ace and his first homer.
Really good matchup. Got a pitch in the middle of the zone. Left-hander on the mound. He blasted it to the pool side. Had to feel good, and it was pretty sweet to see the fireworks go off as he rounded the bases.
Some fireworks from Steve Kent as well. 2 games in a row that an Aces starter struck out 8 hitters.
The curveball was electric. You saw it there on the replay. That one that he dropped in there for strike 3 on one of the right-handed hitters. Jake Skoll helped him out defensively, making that grab in foul ground. And here's that LaVarnway home run that we were talking about. Middle. A guy who spent as much time in the big leagues as he did ain't going to miss that.
He almost had another one a little later on in the game. And this is not a pitch that we will tire of seeing. A right-on lefty hitter, and that was a no-doubt shot from Ryan LaVarnway. Gave the Aces their first lead of the series, but Canberra bounced right back in the 5th inning. Cole Roederer coming up big for the Cavs again.
Yeah, this is a Canberra team that is really solid 1 through 9 in their lineup. He ripped that ball down the right field line, and the 3 straight hits that Kent gave up, I think it was just some fatigue setting in. It was by far his longest outing of the year, but he did a great job stranding 2 runners in scoring position and keeping the game tied.
The game didn't stay tied for too long. A leadoff walk and a couple of hits kept the ball rolling for the Aces, and this sacrifice fly by Jacob Robson was the difference.
Robson in the leadoff spot tonight, making things happen on both ends. Was great in the field and great with the bat. He got a pitch he could handle in the middle of the zone, swung first pitch, which he does so often, and did something productive with it.
And you got to give a lot of credit to Chris Burke with the base running, but this might have been the best base running play of the game. A short backstop, Robbie Glendinning still escapes for run number 3.
He was ready, took advantage of a mistake, the wild pitch, something that gets away from Perkins there. Reeves just missed way out of the zone and low. And the Aces knew that they really could use that insurance run to make things easier for Lennox in the 9th. And they were able to capitalize.
And Kevin Lennox absolutely dominant. 2 shutout innings, a big help from this diving stop by Darryl George, a highlight play for the Helms Award winner. But 2 innings, 2 punch outs, 6 outs, and nobody put on base by Kevin Lennox.
He's electric out of the bullpen. I mean, any situation that he's called for, he gets the job done. With men on base, I think he's the most trusted weapon out of the bullpen right now, with as hard as he throws, as effective as that fastball is up in the zone, and then that slider diving down and away from right-handed hitters especially. He was fantastic tonight.
All smiles for the fans, all smiles for the Aces as they finish off the year in the absolute best way possible. A 3-1 victory over the Canberra Cavalry. And that's going to do it for our broadcasting this year as well. But in 2023, we'll have plenty more Aces games coming across, starting with the series finale tomorrow. Aces looking to even up this set against the Canberra Cavalry.
Chance to start a winning streak. I'm excited to get back on the call. Let's get right back out there. The way this team played tonight, a complete game, and that's something that we've been talking about lately. They played a complete game tonight. The defense was great behind all 3 pitchers that were out there. The pitching was fantastic for those 3 guys that were able to get the job done over 9 innings, and the bats did just enough tonight.
The first fireworks of the year are at Melbourne Ballpark, and 2022 comes to a close with an Aces victory. Thank you all for tuning in all year long. I'm Josh Sperber. He's Mark Antonini, and thanks again to our fantastic crew over at Sportscast Australia right behind us. We'll see you again next year, and have a great New Year's Eve.